Warrior Lore. Chapter 210. The Silver-Eyed Wolf King was terrifyingly strong. It shouldn't have been so easy for Lin Feng to kill it. Lin Feng had the impression that the blood-red-robed beast tamer had cheated him. He was the blood-red-robed beast tamer's mount. He hadn't tried to block Lin Feng's attack. Instead, he had chosen to dodge. At that moment, Lin Feng changed his target from the beast tamer to the silver-eyed blood wolf king. It was too late for the silver-eyed blood wolf king to dodge. Therefore, the silver-eyed blood wolf king's death was a sad one. It was so strong, but Lin Feng had cut off its head. "Brat, you killed my mount. I'll cut you to pieces," said the blood-red-robed beast tamer, looking at Lin Feng with hatred. The corners of his mouth twitched again. It seemed like he was going to summon more beasts. Lin Feng wasn't going to let the blood-red-robed beast tamer have his way. He rushed over and slashed his sword at the beast tamer. If the blood-red beast tamer kept summoning ferocious beasts, he would be able to kill Lin Feng in the end. Therefore, Lin Feng had to interrupt the beast tamer's summoning. The blood-red-robed beast tamer was furious when he saw Lin Feng's attack. He was about to summon his beast, but Lin Feng had interrupted him. The beast tamer had no choice but to dodge Lin Feng's attack. Whoosh! The beast tamer moved to the left and dodged Lin Feng's attack. However, his summoning was interrupted by Lin Feng. Lin Feng looked indifferent. He held the black dragon sword and attacked again. "Brat, I can kill you even without summoning more beasts," the crimson-robed beast tamer said with a gloomy expression. With a flash of light, a blood-red spear appeared in the beast tamer's hand. He was holding a blood-red spear and was moving towards Lin Feng. Clang! The two people's weapons collided violently. In a flash, Lin Feng could feel a terrifying strength flowing through his black dragon sword and violently shaking his body. Thump! 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 Lin Feng was pushed back by that attack. The power of two dragons. Lin Feng was shocked. Sure enough, this blood-robed beast tamer was much stronger than the Tiger Man Centurion. "Brat, do you know how strong I am? Even though beast tamers aren't good at fighting, I can still deal with you." The beast tamer's confidence was boosted after Lin Feng was pushed back. He laughed evilly and charged at Lin Feng. He thrust his spear at Lin Feng. Lin Feng raised his sword to block the attack. Who would have thought that the beast tamer's first attack was only a feint? He quickly changed directions, raised his spear with both hands, and threw it at Lin Feng. It happened in the blink of an eye. He was as fast as lightning. Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. He quickly raised his sword to block the attack. There was a loud clang. Lin Feng was sent flying. A powerful force surged into his body. Lin Feng felt as if his body was going to be torn apart. He coughed up blood. Lin Feng was injured. Devouring martial spirit. Devour. Lin Feng hurriedly activated his martial spirit and devoured the terrifying force that was surging into his body. "Die, brat." The beast tamer in the blood-red robe raised his spear and threw it towards Lin Feng. Swish! Lin Feng unfurled his golden wings and flew into the air. He dodged the beast tamer's attack. The beast tamer raised his spear. He wanted to pierce Lin Feng's chest and kill Lin Feng in midair. Lin Feng swung his black dragon sword to block the beast tamer's attack. Devouring martial spirit, triple spatial magnetic field. Facing the powerful beast tamer, Lin Feng didn't hold back. He used all of his techniques. The beast tamer was too strong. In a short exchange, Lin Feng had already been injured. If he wanted to defeat the beast tamer, he had to use all of his strength. Triple spatial magnetic field. A powerful restrictive force enveloped the beast tamer. The beast tamer immediately felt that his movements were greatly restricted. He couldn't move an inch. The beast tamer's expression changed. He hadn't expected Lin Feng to have such a technique. "Die!" shouted Lin Feng furiously. He then grabbed his black dragon sword and quickly arrived in front of the beast tamer. He slashed at the beast tamer. The beast tamer dodged with difficulty. Even though he had dodged Lin Feng's deadly attack, he hadn't been able to completely dodge Lin Feng's sword. Pooh! A ripping sound was heard. The beast tamer's left arm had been chopped off. My arm!" shouted the beast tamer, giving a horrible shriek. He raised his right hand and threw a punch at Lin Feng. Bang! A loud sound was heard. That palm landed squarely on Lin Feng's chest. Wah! Lin Feng spat out a mouthful of blood. He was sent flying like a kite with its string cut. The beast tamer in the blood-red robe grabbed his broken arm and looked at Lin Feng with hatred in his eyes. However, the blood-robed beast tamer knew that he was in a very bad situation after losing an arm. He immediately turned and fled. Lin Feng crawled up from the ground. He picked up the black dragon sword, clenched his teeth, and endured the pain all over his body. He quickly chased after the beast tamer. This beast tamer had to die. Otherwise, he would become a huge threat. Soon, Lin Feng caught up and began to fight the beast tamer. Blood sound wave. Wah! While the beast tamer was fighting with Lin Feng, he suddenly opened his mouth and let out a terrifying roar. That was a sound attack. Because these beast men didn't have a spirit, they paid great attention to the cultivation of their soul and their physical bodies. In the empire of the beastmen, there were many soul attack techniques that only beastmen could use. That sound attack was obviously much more powerful than the Tiger Clan's 100-man commander's Tiger Roar. The terrifying sound attack penetrated into Lin Feng's brain and destroyed his soul. Soul Sword, slash. Lin Feng also used a secret soul technique. His soul transformed into a sword and instantly destroyed the soundwave attack. Lin Feng's soul was at the peak of the Martial King realm. The soul sword was much more powerful than the blood sound wave. Therefore, it wasn't difficult for Lin Feng to destroy the beast tamer's blood sound wave attack. Following that, the soul sword shot out and entered the blood-robed beast tamer's mind, aiming for his soul. My head. The beast tamer roared in pain. He threw his weapon on the ground and smashed his head with one hand. Die! Shouted Lin Feng loudly. He thrust his sword towards the beast tamer's chest. Poochie! The black dragon sword pierced through the beast tamer's chest. A great beast tamer is dying at the hands of a human brat. How can this be? Muttered the beast tamer. He couldn't believe his eyes. In the next moment, his body started to swell. Lin Feng's expression changed. The beast tamer was going to self-destruct. Before he died, he wanted to drag Lin Feng down with him. Lin Feng didn't dare hesitate. He quickly flew away. After flying a dozen meters, a loud explosion sounded. The beast tamer's body exploded. A terrifying energy wave hit Lin Feng and sent him flying dozens of meters away. Lin Feng fell heavily on the ground and didn't move. It was unknown whether he was dead or alive. Chapter 211. Phew. Lin Feng panted heavily. He felt very tired, as if he had no strength left in his body. Lin Feng was seriously injured from the fierce battle with the blood-robed beast tamer. This battle was extremely dangerous. Although Lin Feng killed the blood-robed beast tamer in the end, the process was extremely thrilling. It was either you die or I die. Fortunately, Lin Feng was the one who survived in the end. I can't stay here for long. I have to leave quickly and find a place to rest. Lin Feng got up with difficulty. He flapped his golden wings and turned into a golden lightning bolt, quickly flying into the distance. In the end, Lin Feng could not hold on any longer. He stopped in front of a lake and leaned against a tree to rest. Not long after, Lin Feng closed his eyes and fell asleep. He was really too tired. Splash! After an unknown amount of time, Lin Feng suddenly heard the sound of water flowing. He opened his eyes. Lin Feng saw a beautiful woman covered in blood cleaning the blood clots on her body not far away. This beautiful woman was tall and voluptuous. Her skin was snow-white, and she had a slim waist and plump buttocks. Lin Feng could only see the side of her face, but it was also perfect. She must be an extremely beautiful woman. But obviously, this woman was not an ordinary person. She held a blood-stained short sword in her hand. It was unknown how many people she had killed, but the blood groove of the short sword was filled with blood. She placed the short sword into the water, and immediately, the lake water around the short sword was dyed red. The beautiful woman carefully cleaned the short sword. It was obvious that she loved her treasure so much that she couldn't bear to part with it. After cleaning the dagger, the beautiful woman put it away. Then, she began to clean the blood clots on her body. Perhaps it was because there was too much blood on her body. The beautiful woman frowned slightly. She took off her clothes one by one. Lin Feng was behind the beautiful woman. He watched this scene with his mouth agape. As the clothes fell, the beautiful woman's perfect body was revealed to Lin Feng. Her long and slender legs, her slim waist, and her perfect golden ratio would make any man's blood boil if they saw her. Soon, the beautiful woman was only left with her undergarments. Her jade-like hands reached for the belt of her undergarments, clearly wanting to undo them. What the F***CK? Are you serious? Do I have to take them all off? Lin Feng felt that this was too exciting. This beautiful woman's figure was simply perfect to the extreme. Clearly, because her body was stained with too much blood, she wanted to take a good bath here, allowing Lin Feng to feast his eyes. Phew! As the beautiful woman moved, Lin Feng's breathing quickened. Who? Suddenly, the beautiful woman let out a cold voice. She seemed to have sensed a trace of movement in the surroundings. The beautiful woman quickly put on her clothes. She looked coldly at Lin Feng. Lin Feng was startled. This beautiful woman's perception was very strong. Clearly, her strength was extremely tyrannical. Even Lin Feng's slightly hot breathing couldn't escape the beautiful woman's notice. When the beautiful woman looked behind him, Lin Feng had no time to dodge. Their eyes met. Lin Feng was stunned. This woman was truly too beautiful. She had a palm-sized oval-shaped face, willowy eyebrows, charming eyes, and soft pink lips. Perhaps these words were used to describe the beautiful woman's alluring red lips. Her face was so exquisite that it was breathtaking. When she saw Lin Feng, the beautiful woman suddenly revealed a charming smile. Do I look good? Lin Feng replied, Yes, I do, but it's a pity that I can't take it all off. The beautiful woman walked step by step towards Lin Feng and smiled. Do you want me to take it all off for you to admire? Lin Feng's fiery gaze landed on the beautiful woman's perfect body. If you don't mind, I'll naturally be happy to take a look at your mesmerizing figure. All right then, I'll take it off for you to see. The beautiful woman giggled and reached out as if she was about to undo her clothes. Lin Feng muttered. Could it be that this woman was really going to take it all off for him to admire? In any case, Lin Feng wouldn't reject such a good thing. Just as Lin Feng was about to admire her alluring body, the beautiful woman suddenly sent a palm strike towards Lin Feng. Whoosh! Lin Feng seemed to have been prepared for this and quickly retreated. I'm just joking. There's no need to be so fierce, right? Lin Feng called out. In truth, Lin Feng had been on guard against the beautiful woman this entire time. The beautiful woman's body was covered in blood. Her weapon's blood reservoir was filled with blood. Although she was beautiful, she didn't seem like a kind person. Brat, do you think you can leave alive after seeing my body? The beautiful woman said coldly. As soon as she finished speaking, she rushed over again. You're exposed. Lin Feng pointed at the beautiful woman. Originally, when the beautiful woman had discovered Lin Feng, her clothes had been draped over her body and she hadn't put them on. Now that she had attacked, her clothes had been ripped open, revealing her body. Through her undergarments, Lin Feng could even see a scene that made him blush. It was as if her undergarments were about to burst apart. He's just a dead person. Let him see. The beautiful woman didn't seem to care at all. Boom. The beautiful woman attacked again, and the power of her palm was too great. Lin Feng felt a suffocating pressure. This beautiful woman was at least at the third firmament of the martial general realm. Whoosh! Without thinking, Lin Feng unfurled his golden wings and turned to flee. Even if Lin Feng was at his peak, he wouldn't necessarily be a match for this beautiful woman. Moreover, Lin Feng had just fought a fierce battle with the blood-robed Beastmaster not too long ago. He was still injured and was in a weak state. It wasn't wise to fight with this beautiful woman. Lin Feng quickly flew away. The beautiful woman was shocked. A flying secret technique? You know a flying-type secret technique as well? Her eyes lit up. Clearly, she was very interested in Lin Feng's flying secret technique. Swoosh! The beautiful woman took out a palm-sized, square-shaped jade seal. It flew out at high speed, instantly growing to 100 meters tall. It looked like a mountain, and it was clearly a powerful magical item. The mountain-shaped jade seal smashed towards Lin Feng. Not good. Lin Feng's face fell, but he didn't have time to dodge. Bang! A huge sound rang out. Lin Feng was struck by the jade seal, and his body fell to the ground. His true energy scattered, and he couldn't use even the slightest bit of strength. The beautiful woman quickly flew over. When she saw Lin Feng's pale face, she was clearly shocked. "You took a blow from my magical item and didn't die? Kid, you really aren't simple." Lin Feng said, "Beautiful woman, can you be reasonable? I was resting here until you came over. I just happened to glance at you a few times, and you want to kill me?" The beautiful woman sneered. "Hee, you're really naive. Trying to reason with people from my soul-devouring hall is the most laughable thing in the world. People from my soul-devouring hall can kill whoever they want. Killing someone depends entirely on their mood." Soul-devouring hall. Lin Feng's face fell. This beautiful woman was actually from the soul-devouring hall. The soul-devouring hall's members were all devils who killed without batting an eyelid. Now that he had fallen into the hands of this beautiful woman, he was in trouble. "If you want to die quickly, tell me your flying secret technique. Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead." The beautiful woman looked coldly at Lin Feng. Chapter 212. Lin Feng obviously wouldn't cooperate. If he did, he would die for sure. Instead, he might be able to find a way to escape. "Beauty, we have no enmity between us. It was all a misunderstanding. Although I looked at you a few times, you were still wearing your undergarments. Actually, I didn't see anything. Seeing that I'm young and ignorant, please let me go. You're such a beautiful fairy. You're definitely different from those devils. You must be a kind-hearted person." Lin Feng looked at her pitifully. "Ha ha ha, this is the first time I've heard someone say that I, Lan Xiaoji, am a kind-hearted person. If it were any other woman, they would have let you go after hearing your flowery words. However, it's useless to say that to me. I've killed at least 8,000 people. Do you think I'm afraid of one more?" Lin Feng felt his scalp go numb. This woman was really vicious. She was so beautiful. She was so cruel and merciless. She killed indiscriminately. No wonder all the factions wanted to annihilate the Soul Devourer Palace. These demonic Tao forces were too vicious. They killed people without batting an eye. If these demonic Tao forces were allowed to grow stronger, who knew how many innocent people would be killed and how many innocent people would be killed? My patience is limited. If you don't tell me, I'll make you kneel on the ground and beg me. Do you believe me?" Lan Yao looked at Lin Feng coldly. "Hee, kill me if you dare. I won't tell you anyway. Even if I have to take the secret to my grave, I won't tell you." Lin Feng said shamelessly. "That's because you don't know what I'm capable of. Since you don't know how to appreciate my kindness, you'll suffer," sneered the woman. She tidied her clothes, picked up Lin Feng, and walked away. Over 100 people were resting next to a pool. 50 or 60 of them were wearing black robes. Their auras were gloomy. They were all from the Soul Devourer Palace. There were also 40 or so people chained up. They were covered in blood. It seemed like they had just gone through a great battle. Those people were the cultivators who had been captured by the Soul Devourer Palace. A skinny old man wearing a black robe was standing in front of a bonfire. Above the bonfire was a jar. Within the jar, chopstick-sized little golden snakes were swimming within the boiling hot soup. There were dozens of poisonous grasses, flowers, and medicines in the jar. Those little golden snakes were currently absorbing the poison within. Hee, my little babies, you can't wait to enjoy the delicious food? Wait a little longer. Once you've absorbed all the poison, you can enjoy the delicious food." The skinny old man said eerily. The cultivators from the Soul Devourer Palace felt their hairs stand to stand. The old man was a poison master. Just like spiritual array masters and alchemists, poison masters were also a profession. However, poison masters were very rare because they usually dealt with poisons. Many talented people were poisoned to death before they could become poison masters. Even in the Soul Devourer Palace, there were only 3 poison masters. Also, poison masters were too evil. Once they were discovered, the major factions would surround them. The black-robed poison master had come out this time to cultivate the 36 blue-eyed gold snakes. The blue-eyed gold snake was a snake species that contained a highly toxic poison. Its speed was extremely fast, and this type of snake was capable of metamorphosis. Once it metamorphosed, it could become a flying blue-eyed gold snake. The flying blue-eyed gold snakes would grow wings and move as fast as lightning. When facing an enemy, the flying blue-eyed gold snake would fly over before the enemy could even react. Once bitten by the flying blue-eyed gold snake, it was said that even a yin-yang realm expert would be poisoned to death. From this, one could see how terrifyingly poisonous the flying blue-eyed gold snake was. Of course, it wasn't easy to transform the blue-eyed gold snake into a flying blue-eyed gold snake. Not only did it need to be fed a large amount of poison, it also needed to drink a large amount of blood from cultivators. The stronger the cultivator, the better. The blood of powerful cultivators would help the blue-eyed gold snake complete its transformation quickly. These cultivators were all innocent cultivators who were targeted by the people from Soul Devourer Palace. Some of them fled, some were killed in their resistance, and some were captured. Those who were captured would become the black-robed poison master's poison body. The poison body was a host used to cultivate poison. It was the host used to cultivate the blue-eyed gold snake. Rustle. A small sound came from the forest. The Soul Devourer Palace experts' expressions changed slightly. They all became alert. Soon, Lan Yaoji walked out of the forest with Lin Feng. It's Elder Lan. The Soul Devourer Palace cultivators let out a long breath. In reality, they were also on tenterhooks outside. What the black-robed poison master had done was simply too heinous. If the righteous Dao cultivators found out, a large group of righteous Dao cultivators would come to kill them. Elder Blue, you've caught another young man. I'm so happy. Elder Blue, you're much stronger than the elders who came with me before. Wait until I turn these blue-eyed golden snakes into flying blue-eyed golden snakes, then I'll sell one to you for a cheap price, said Elder Blue. The black-robed poison master laughed sinisterly. Lan Yaoji curled her lips and said, I heard that your flying blue-eyed gold snake is selling for 1,000 high-grade spirit stones? I can't afford it. If it's 100 high-grade spirit stones, I might buy one. Elder Lan, if you don't have enough high-grade spirit stones, maybe you can consider spending a night with me. I'll give you one. How about it? The black-robed poison master looked at Lan Yaoji's sexy body and said with a perverted smile. Lin Feng couldn't help but roll his eyes. This old guy was already so old, but he was still an old pervert. Ha 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 ha. My nickname, Poison Widow, is not for nothing. Could it be that Lord Poison Master wants to test my prowess as well? Said Lan Yaoji with a charming smile. The Poison Master seemed to have thought of something related to Lan Yaoji, and he smiled embarrassedly. A hint of fear flashed in his sinister eyes. Lan Yaoji threw Lin Feng on the ground and looked at the black-robed poison master. She said, Have your snakes finished absorbing the poison? Almost, said the black-robed poison master. Feed one to this brat first. Lan Yaoji pointed at Lin Feng. Shit, that bitch is so cruel. Lin Feng couldn't help but curse Lan Yaoji in his heart. A woman's heart was the most poisonous. Elder Lan, how could I dare disobey your orders? Said the poison master while smiling evilly. He stretched out his right hand and said something to the snake in the jar in a language that Lin Feng didn't understand. It seemed to be the snake language. It was the language of snakes according to legends. In a flash, a snake came out of the jar and coiled around the black-robed poison master's wrist. The black-robed poison master walked in front of Lin Feng and used a dagger to cut open Lin Feng's wrist. He said sinisterly, Brat, you're really lucky. You're the first person my little baby has drunk your blood. After that, the snake coiled around the black-robed poison master's wrist seemed to smell blood. It looked at Lin Feng and quickly threw itself at him. It penetrated the wound on Lin Feng's wrist and drilled into Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng immediately felt an excruciating pain. He rolled on the ground and started twitching. Chapter 213. Hee 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 hee. My blue-eyed golden snake won't take your life immediately. It'll torture you slowly until you wish you were dead, said the black-cloaked poison master gloomily. Little brat, if you can't take it anymore, come and find me. Kneel down and beg me, and you'll get a quick death, said Lan Yaoji coldly. Haha, stinky bitch, I'm very happy, said Lin Feng with a cold smile as he endured the pain. You're still so stubborn. Enjoy it slowly. Let's see how long you can last, said Lan Yaoji coldly. The black-cloaked poison master walked towards the rest of the people. It seemed like those people already knew what was going to happen to them. A moment before, they had seen Lin Feng being poisoned by a poisonous snake and his entire body twitching. When they saw the poison master in the black cloak walking towards them, their faces all turned deathly pale. Do you know who I am? My ancestor is a deacon of Sun Moon City. If you don't let me go, you'll all die when my ancestor finds out. A young master shouted with a stern voice. How impressive. You're just a deacon of Sun Moon City. Do you think you can scare me? How laughable. I'll start with you today, said the black-cloaked poison master gloomily. He walked towards the young man and cut open his arm. No, don't, screamed the young man in terror. However, it was useless. Nothing could stop the black-robed poison master. After a blue-eyed gold snake smelled the scent of blood, it quickly rushed out and drilled into the young master's body through his wound. The young cultivator's body violently twitched and rolled on the ground in pain. When the rest of the people saw this, their faces turned pale. You'll get your retribution. Someone cursed. What's retribution? I don't know, said the black-cloaked poison master with a sinister smile. Then, he made the snakes crawl into the bodies of the cultivators. All of the cultivators had become nourishment for the blue-eyed gold snake. Nurturing the blue-eyed gold snake was a very vicious process. It had an extremely high requirement for blood. It could not use the blood of wild beasts. It had to use the blood of cultivators. Moreover, it could not use the blood of the dead. It had to use the blood of the living. The more pain and resentment they felt before death, the more bloodthirsty the blood would contain. By absorbing such blood, the blue-eyed gold snake would be able to grow quickly. Of course, the blue-eyed golden snake didn't eat the cultivator's blood all the time. It would rest and digest the blood. When the snakes ate the cultivator's blood, it was a painful process. When the snakes rested, they felt better. These demonic Tao members of the Soul Devourer Temple escorted so many people towards an ancient primitive forest. 3 days had been gone. More than a dozen cultivators had already died. All of their blood had been sucked dry by the blue-eyed gold coin snake. The cultivators who didn't die were all skin and bones. They didn't look good at all. Little boy, how do you feel now? When night fell, Lan Yao came to Lin Feng's side and smiled coldly at Lin Feng. Lin Feng's body was very thin, and his eyes were lifeless. He was very weak. However, he didn't want to give in. He smiled coldly and replied, I've never felt so good before. It feels so good. You won't be able to say that very soon. Lan Yao smiled charmingly. She looked like a peerless beauty, but she wasn't like that. Her heart was as vicious as a scorpion's. At night, apart from the soul-devouring palace's people who were patrolling, everyone else was resting. Lin Feng leaned against a tree and sat cross-legged. Suddenly, a sharp pain spread through his body. The blue-eyed golden snake had started to wreak havoc in Lin Feng's body again. I'll refine you today. Lin Feng's face was filled with anger. For the past few days, he had been fighting against the blue-eyed golden snake. Lin Feng had wanted to refine the snake many times, but the soul-devouring palace's people had been watching him closely. However, the soul-devouring palace's cultivators were much more relaxed today. They had been watching him closely because they were worried that some of the medicine slaves would escape. However, the blue-eyed golden snake had been absorbing the blood of the medicine slaves for a few days, and more than half of the medicine slaves had died. The rest of the medicine slaves were on the verge of death. It seemed like they wouldn't be able to last much longer. It would be even more difficult for them to escape. Therefore, the soul-devouring palace's people had let down their guard. Heavenly fire as the source. Refine the snake as the essence. All things become one, heaven and earth become one. Lin Feng began to circulate the heavenly fire in his body. The heavenly fire swept towards the blue-eyed golden snake in Lin Feng's body. The blue-eyed golden snake was initially drinking Lin Feng's blood, but when it suddenly sensed the scorching hot qi, it started panicking. The blue-eyed golden snake was a vicious beast of the yin element. It was afraid of fire, let alone heavenly fire. Screech. The blue-eyed golden snake let out a sharp cry and frantically drilled into Lin Feng's body, trying to escape. It's too late to escape now, Lin Feng sneered. The purple earthcore fire had already wrapped around the snake. Chi 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 chi. The purple earthcore fire burned fiercely. The blue-eyed gold snake struggled painfully, trying to break free from the purple core fire's attack. However, it failed. Under the burning of the purple core fire, the blue-eyed gold snake gradually lost its ability to move. In the end, the snake stopped moving. Huff huff huff. The purple earthcore fire burned wildly. The blue-eyed golden snake directly turned into a ball of pure energy. The blue-eyed golden snake had been cultivated by the black-robed poison master using countless medicinal herbs. Its entire body was made of essence. Lin Feng immediately activated the devouring black hole and began to absorb the pure energy of the blue-eyed golden snake. The powerful energy poured into Lin Feng's body. Lin Feng's body, which had been thin and emaciated, quickly became plump and full of energy. He also became full of vigor and vitality. Boom! Suddenly, Lin Feng's strength began to increase crazily. Lin Feng was originally at the 9th celestial layer of the martial master realm and had a strength of 400 million jin. However, at this moment, Lin Feng's strength quickly broke through 500 million jin and was still increasing crazily. In the end, Lin Feng's strength stopped at 400 million jin. His cultivation had also finally broken through to the 10th celestial layer of the martial master realm. This blue-eyed golden snake is really a great tonic. After refining this blue-eyed golden snake, I actually broke through to the 10th celestial layer of the martial master realm. This is really great. My strength has reached 800 million jin. With the superposition of the triple devouring martial spirit, my strength can increase to 240 million jin. Now, I can even fight against a martial general. Lin Feng's face lit up with joy. Chapter 2:14. Not only had Lin Feng devoured the blue-eyed golden snake, but his strength had also greatly increased. However, he still pretended to be sick to confuse the soul-devouring palace. The soul-devouring palace had many people, so it wasn't easy for them to escape. They had to find a good opportunity to escape. If they failed, they would die without a doubt. The other cultivators died one after another. Apart from Lin Feng, there were 3 other cultivators who hadn't died, but they didn't seem to be able to hold on for much longer. Hee. Most of the medicinal slaves are dead. It seems like we need to catch some new ones. The black-robed poison master glanced at Lin Feng and the others, then looked at Lan Yaoji. Lan Yaoji said, "So many cultivators have just disappeared. I'm afraid that some powerful groups have already noticed us. We need to go somewhere else." The black-robed poison master nodded. He had always been cautious and thought that it would be safer to go somewhere else. The black-robed poison master continued, "There's a ferocious beast in the depths of the forest. It's guarding a 3,000-year-old violet sun herb. Before we leave, we need to go and steal that violet sun herb." Lan Yaoji frowned and said, "That's not my responsibility. If you want to go by yourself." Of course, there are many people who are willing to risk their lives for me. You just have to wait outside," the black-robed poison master said indifferently. Lan Yaoji curled her lips and said, "Do you think a ferocious beast guarding a 3,000-year-old medicinal herb is easy to deal with? Master Poison Master, you should be careful. Don't suffer a double loss." The black-robed poison master said gloomily, "I've already prepared everything. Elder Lan, you don't have to worry about that." Lan Yaoji narrowed her eyes and didn't say anything else. Lin Feng had already fully recovered. He was alert. He heard the conversation between the black-robed poison master and Lan Yaoji. Lin Feng was shocked. A 3,000-year-old medicinal herb. Such a medicinal herb was extremely rare. If it appeared in the world, it would cause a huge commotion. The next day, 2 more cultivators died. Only Lin Feng and the last cultivator remained. The black-robed poison master gloomily looked at Lin Feng and said, "The kid you caught is not simple. He can actually persist for such a long time. This kid is the best candidate for a medicine slave. How about you sell this kid to me? You can name your price." Lan Yaoji said calmly, "I'm afraid that I'll have to disappoint you. It's a pity to die like this." The black-robed poison master shook his head, but didn't say anything else. That evening, the other cultivator also died. Lin Feng was the only one left. Most of the troops were stationed beside a river. The members of Soul Devourer Palace began setting up camp. Lin Feng stood up, and an expert from Soul Devourer Palace shouted coldly, "Kid, what are you trying to do?" Lin Feng replied, "I'm thirsty and want to go drink some water." "Drink water? I haven't even drunk any water yet, and you want to drink it? Just stay here." The cultivator from Soul Devourer Palace said coldly, "Zhang Ming, take him with you. Don't let him die." Hearing Lan Yaoji's order, the cultivator from Soul Devourer Palace didn't dare to disobey and said, "Yes, elder." He then looked at Lin Feng and said coldly, "Kid, hurry up." Lin Feng nodded and walked towards the river. "Pa," said the cultivator of the soul-absorbing temple, attacking Lin Feng with his whip. "Damn it, I told you to hurry up. How dare you dawdle? Do you have a death wish?" The cultivator from Soul Devourer Palace called Zhang Ming cursed coldly. His attitude was extremely bad. Lin Feng's gaze suddenly turned cold. He clenched his fists, and killing intent flashed in his eyes. However, he restrained himself in time. At this moment, he was still surrounded by Soul Devourer Palace. Once he was far away from these people, he would take Zhang Ming's life. Lin Feng took a deep breath and sped up. Soon, under Zhang Ming's watch, Lin Feng arrived at the river. Lin Feng lowered his head and observed his surroundings. He noticed that within 30 meters of him, there were 2 cultivators from the Devouring Soul Temple. 50 meters away, there were 7 cultivators from the Devouring Soul Temple. Most of them were 100 meters away. Such a distance was enough for Lin Feng to successfully shake off these people from Soul Devourer Palace. "Kid, what are you looking at? Don't you want to drink water? Drink it for me." When Zhang Ming saw Lin Feng looking around, he lowered his body and grabbed Lin Feng's neck with his right hand as if he wanted to push Lin Feng's head into the water. However, at this moment, Lin Feng moved. His previous weakness and fatigue were swept away. He moved as fast as lightning and grabbed Zhang Ming's neck. He exerted force in his wrist. Crack! Lin Feng broke Zhang Ming's neck. "Kid, you're courting death." When the 2 cultivators from Soul Devourer Palace saw Lin Feng kill Zhang Ming in an instant, they immediately roared and rushed towards Lin Feng. "You should die too." Lin Feng shouted and threw 2 punches at the 2 cultivators. Asterisk bang bang. Asterisk he fiercely punched the 2 cultivators from Soul Devourer Palace. Crack, crack. The arms of the 2 Soul Devourer Hall cultivators were instantly broken. Next, the punch landed on their chests, causing their chests to cave in. Their whole body flew out like a kite with a broken string. In midair, they spat out mouthfuls of blood and fell to the ground, dead. "Not good. That kid is running away." Many people cried out in alarm. The cultivators from Soul Devourer Palace quickly rushed over. However, Lin Feng had already activated his golden wings and soared into the sky, flying far away. "Ah, damn it, damn it. My green-eyed golden snake. Kill him. You must kill that kid." Seeing Lin Feng soar into the sky, the black-robed poison master roared like a madman. Cultivating a green-eyed golden snake required a lot of medicinal ingredients. The black-robed poison master's heart ached. "Where do you think you're going?" shouted Lan Jiaoji coldly. Lan Jiaoji took out the square jade seal that had injured Lin Feng before. It was a powerful instrument. Lan Jiaoji wanted to use it to deal with Lin Feng like the first time. However, the current Lin Feng was different from the previous Lin Feng. Previously, he had been injured because of the battle with the blood-robed beast tamer. Now, he was full of energy and his cultivation had greatly improved. When the square jade seal flew towards him, Lin Feng took out the black dragon sword and slashed at the square jade seal. Clang, clang, clang. 3 attacks in a row. Each attack seemed to have a terrifying power that could shake heaven and earth. After 3 attacks, crack, crack, the powerful square jade seal started to crack. Lin Feng slashed down with his sword again. Bang! The square jade seal broke into pieces. Lin Feng had destroyed it on the spot. "Ah, my treasure." Lan Jiaoji had 4 or 5 powerful instruments, but when she saw that Lin Feng had destroyed the square jade seal, she screamed in pain. That was her favorite instrument, but Lin Feng had destroyed it. Swish! Lin Feng flapped his golden wings and soared into the sky, disappearing into the night sky. Chapter 2:15. Chase him. Don't let him get away. The black-cloaked poison master roared furiously. He was still worried about his blue-eyed golden snake. The blue-eyed golden snake was the black-cloaked poison master's lifeblood. Lan Jiaoji was also gnashing her teeth in hatred towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng had destroyed one of her favorite magical weapons. She wanted to cut Lin Feng into pieces to vent her anger. She said coldly, "Let's go. Chase him." The Soul Devourer Palace's experts who were following Lan Jiaoji quickly chased after Lin Feng. The remaining 10 Soul Devourer Palace's cultivators followed the black-cloaked poison master. They were going to follow the black-cloaked poison master to the depths of the ancient forest to snatch the 3,000-year-old spiritual herbs. Asterisk swish. Asterisk in the night. A golden light landed on a mountain peak. It was Lin Feng. Lin Feng had benefited from this disaster. He had refined the blue-eyed golden snake and reached the 10th celestial layer of the martial master realm. The fire Qilin isn't here. If it was here, it would definitely be interested in the blue-eyed golden snake. Lin Feng couldn't help but mutter to himself. The fire Qilin hadn't come with him this time. Lin Feng continued, "The black-cloaked poison master seems to have cultivated 36 blue-eyed golden snakes. Now that I've devoured one, there should be 35 left. These snakes are really great nourishment. I have to follow them and see if I have a chance to kill the black-cloaked poison master and steal these snakes. If I can get them, I'll be able to break through in the near future." If Lin Feng broke through again, he would be a general. Asterisk swish. Asterisk Lin Feng soared into the sky again and chased after the black-cloaked poison master. Lan Jiaoji and the others would never have thought that Lin Feng would turn back again. Damn it! Damn it! My blue-eyed golden snake. Brat, when I catch you, I'll make you wish you were dead. In the forest, the black-cloaked poison master was still roaring furiously. It was obvious that his anger hadn't subsided. Hiding in the shadows, Lin Feng stared coldly at the black-robed poison master. After a long time, the black-robed poison master seemed to have calmed down a little. He looked at a cultivator from the soul-devouring palace and said, "Wait here for Elder Lan to come back. When she comes back, tell her to wait here for me. If you catch that brat, tell Elder Lan not to kill him. Wait for me to come back and deal with him." "Yes." The Soul Devourer Hall cultivator replied. The black-robed poison master nodded and waved his hand. "Let's continue." The others followed behind the black-robed poison master, heading into the depths of the ancient forest. Lin Feng's heart skipped a beat. He had heard the conversation between the black-robed poison master and Lan Jiaoji, and he knew that the black-robed poison master had entered the depths of the ancient forest to steal the 3,000-year-old spiritual herb that was guarded by the mysterious beast. Lin Feng tailed him all the way. The third day, the group of people arrived at the depths of the ancient forest. Someone pointed to the side of a lake and exclaimed, "What a huge python skin!" It was the skin of a huge python that was over 100 meters long. It was obvious that a giant python had finished shedding its skin here. Lin Feng, who was hiding in the shadows, couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. This python skin was too big, wasn't it? Normally, pythons that grew to more than 20 meters were considered giant pythons. This python was actually more than 100 meters long. This was definitely a python that had turned into a demon, and it was abnormally powerful. "Li Yang, I will lure this python out and fight it. You will sneak into the python's cave and retrieve the spiritual herb." The black-robed poison master said to a cultivator. "Yes, master." The cultivator called Li Yang said, "You are all accurate. Once you enter the valley and lure the python out, you will be done. When we return to the soul-devouring palace, everyone will be rewarded with a high-grade spirit stone." The black-robed poison master said. The eyes of the other cultivators suddenly lit up. A high-grade spirit stone was definitely a treasure that could allow one's cultivation to advance by leaps and bounds. As the saying goes, humans die in pursuit of wealth and birds die in pursuit of food. Hearing the black-robed poison master's words, more than a dozen cultivators said in unison, "Elder, don't worry. We will definitely not disappoint." Swoosh, 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 then. More than a dozen cultivators of the soul-devouring palace entered the valley. Rumble. Not long after, the ground shook violently. It was as if a terrifying beast had been completely enraged, and a terrifying aura was emitted from the depths of the valley. Run! More than a dozen cultivators ran out in panic. Behind them, a huge python quickly chased out. That python was actually 500 meters long and had 9 heads. Heavens, that's a 9-headed demonic python. A 9-headed demonic python that has completed its transformation. Lin Feng sucked in a breath of cold air. There was a record of the 9-headed demonic python in the Classic of Mountains and Seas. The 9-headed demonic python was a mutated species with the bloodline of an ancient beast. Every time it transformed, the 9-headed demonic python's body would rapidly expand. Of course, its strength would also be greatly improved. The 9-headed demonic python in front of them was 500 meters long, and its strength was at least equivalent to a human cultivator at the 6th or 7th heavenly layer of the martial general realm. Obviously, the more than 100 meters long python skin Lin Feng saw earlier was definitely not shed recently. Perhaps it had been shed a long time ago. If it had shed recently, the 9-headed demonic python's body would not be so huge. The cultivators of the soul-devouring palace clearly did not expect the 9-headed demonic python to be so powerful. If they had known, they probably would not have acted rashly even if the reward was generous, because it was too dangerous and they could lose their lives at any time. The terrifying 9-headed demonic python began to show its might. The 9 heads respectively spat out lightning, thunder, hail, fire, and other different attacks towards the cultivators of the soul-devouring palace. The cultivators of the soul-devouring palace could not dodge in time, and 6 or 7 cultivators were killed immediately. Elder, save us! The remaining cultivators of the soul-devouring palace loudly begged, hoping that the black-robed poison master could help. Good disciple, sneak over there. The black-robed poison master glanced at Li Yong and said gloomily. Disciple is ready, Li Yong said. The black-robed poison master nodded. The black-robed poison master nodded. His robe fluttered as he soared into the sky and flew towards the 9-headed demonic python. Obviously, the black-robed poison master's robe was a very powerful magic tool. It could actually help him fly. Screech! When the 9-headed demonic python saw the black-robed poison master, it roared angrily. The 9-headed demonic python was very intelligent. When it saw the black-robed poison master, it guessed that the black-robed poison master had sent people to provoke it. The 9-headed demonic python immediately went berserk. It opened its 9 heads and spat out all kinds of attacks towards the black-robed poison master. Good timing. The black-robed poison master was not only an expert in concocting poisons, but his strength was also very terrifying. He struck out with his palm, and a huge energy palm condensed into a huge wind. It fiercely collided with the 9-headed demonic python's attack. Rumble. The terrifying energy shockwaves spread out, and the surrounding mountains shook violently. Go. The black-robed poison master's disciple, Li Yong, took advantage of the battle between the black-robed poison master and the 9-headed demonic python to sneak into the depths of the valley. Swoosh. At the same time, Lin Feng also sneaked into the depths of the valley. Chapter 2:16. The battle between the black-robed poison master and the 9-headed python could be said to be earth-shattering. Their battle caused the earth to sink and the mountains to shake. As expected of a high-level martial general, Lin Feng did not expect the black-robed poison master to be so powerful. He originally thought that the most powerful person in the Soul Devourer Temple was the woman Lan Yaoji. However, it seemed that he had guessed wrongly. The most powerful person was the black-robed poison master who had hidden himself well. Li Yong and Lin Feng entered the depths of the valley one after the other. There was a huge cave here. It should be the cave where the 9-headed python lived. Li Yong rushed into the cave with incredible speed. Lin Feng followed closely behind and also rushed into the cave. At this time, the battle between the 9-headed python and the black-robed poison master had reached its climax. Poof! The black-robed poison master condensed a huge ghost claw in the void. It was like a ghost claw of the netherworld and grabbed at the nine-headed python. The nine-headed python tried its best to dodge. Although the nine-headed python dodged the fatal blow, it could not completely avoid the black-robed poison master's attack. The ghost claw condensed by the black-robed poison master grabbed one of the nine-headed python's heads. Kacha. The powerful nine-headed python's head was crushed by the ghost claw. Although it had 9 heads, it was still very damaging to the nine-headed python when one of its heads was crushed. The nine-headed demonic python let out a painful shriek. Its thick tail violently whipped the surrounding mountains. Bang, bang, bang. Loud crashing sounds were heard. The mountains could not withstand the huge force of the nine-headed python's tail and were directly smashed down by the nine-headed python's tail. Lin Feng, who was in the cave, suddenly felt the cave shake violently. Found it! From the depths of the cave, there was a surprised cry. Lin Feng could tell that it was Li Yang's voice. In the depths of the cave, there was a spiritual pool. In the spiritual pool, there was a delicate and beautiful spiritual medicine. The spiritual medicine was purple in color. Purple sun grass. That was the 3,000-year-old purple sun grass. It was a priceless treasure. After Li Yang saw the purple sun grass, he quickly rushed towards it. Hiss, hiss, hiss. At this time, a dense group of poisonous snakes rushed towards Li Yang from the top of the cave. There was no way to know how many poisonous snakes there were. This was a snake nest. Ah, no. Li Yang's terrified voice came out. In the next moment, he was surrounded by countless poisonous snakes. At that moment, Lin Feng arrived at the entrance of the mountain. When he saw the densely packed poisonous snakes, his scalp went numb. Li Yang was bitten to death by 10,000 snakes. His death was truly too tragic. Heaven's fire, come out. Lin Feng used heaven's fire to protect himself. Hiss, 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 Lin Feng Li. But he put it, and quickly be. Rumble. As soon as Lin Feng came out, he saw that the entire mountain range couldn't withstand the pressure of the nine-headed python's tail and collapsed. Lin Feng was astonished. Fortunately, he ran out in time. Otherwise, he might have been buried in the ruins. He quickly ran away. Oh, I got it. The black-robed poison master saw a figure rushing out of the valley. His eyes lit up. He thought it was Li Yang, but he didn't know that Li Yang had died under the fangs of countless poisonous snakes. While the black-robed poison master was distracted, the nine-headed demonic python, which had one of its heads destroyed, went completely berserk. The nine-headed demonic python moved as fast as lightning, and its ferocious head rushed in front of the black-robed poison master. It opened its bloody mouth and swallowed the black-robed poison master. The black-robed poison master's expression changed. He quickly retreated. However, the nine-headed python was too powerful. The black-robed poison master's left arm was bitten by the nine-headed python. His entire arm was bitten off by the nine-headed python. The black-robed poison master let out an incomparably shrill scream. The nine-headed python's huge tail swept through the air and ruthlessly bombarded the black-robed poison master's body. The black-robed poison master's body flew out like a kite with a broken string. With a plop, he fell to the ground. My arm, my arm. The black-robed poison master screamed miserably. Elder, run quickly. The surviving cultivators of the Soul Devourer Palace quickly helped the black-robed poison master up. They ran away in an extremely sorry state. How could they still dare to fight the nine-headed python? The nine-headed demonic python seemed to have sensed that something was wrong. It didn't chase after the black-robed poison master and the others. Instead, it quickly returned to the valley. Soon, the furious roar of the nine-headed demonic python could be heard from the valley. Obviously, the nine-headed demonic python had discovered that the purple sun grass that it had been guarding for 3,000 years had been stolen. It had gone completely berserk. The nine-headed demonic python rushed out from the valley. Wherever it went, all the mountains and forests were razed to the ground. Lin Feng hid in a dark place and saw the battle between the nine-headed python and the black-robed poison master. The black-robed poison master's arm was bitten off by the nine-headed python. Lin Feng gasped. Then, his eyes suddenly lit up. Lin Feng suddenly had an extremely crazy idea in his mind. The black-robed poison master's arm was bitten off by the nine-headed python. He was seriously injured. At this moment, he must be extremely weak. Could he plan a sneak attack on him? The black-robed poison master's cultivation should be at the 7th or 8th layer of the martial general realm. If he was at his peak, he could kill Lin Feng with one palm strike. But now, the situation was different. After the black-robed poison master's arm was bitten off by the nine-headed python, his battle strength was already not bad. If he wanted to kill the black-robed poison master, this was the best opportunity. Moreover, the black-robed poison master only had 5 cultivators of the Soul Devourer Palace with him now. If he waited until the black-robed poison master and Lan Yaoji reunited, it would be as difficult as ascending to the heavens to kill the black-robed poison master. The black-robed poison master has 35 blue-eyed gold snakes. I must get them. Lin Feng clenched his teeth and decided to take a risk. 35 blue-eyed gold snakes might be able to help him break through to the martial general realm. The black-robed poison master and the others were resting in a mountain forest. Lin Feng took advantage of the darkness to appear. He had disguised himself as Li Yong. The reason why he chose to attack at night was because he was worried that his identity would be exposed during the day. My good disciple, you didn't show up for so long. I thought you took the violet sungrass and ran away. Luckily, you came back in time. Otherwise, I would have used the poison heart curse. The black-robed poison master said gloomily. My good disciple, you didn't show up for so long. I thought you had taken the violet sungrass and escaped. The poison heart curse was an extremely terrifying poison. Once it was used, the victim would suffer a fate worse than death. Lin Feng cursed inwardly. This old poison master was really a bastard. He had even taken precautions against his own disciple. He had actually used such a vicious poison on his disciple. At that moment, Lin Feng quickly arrived in front of the black-robed poison master. Because his hair was loose and it was dark, Lin Feng had imitated Li Yang's voice, so no one realized that Lin Feng was a fake. Lin Feng lowered his head and arrived in front of the black-robed poison master. He presented a white jade box with both hands and said respectfully, Master, the violet sungrass is in this white jade box. He. The violet sungrass is finally in my hands. In order to obtain it, I lost an arm, but it was worth it. The black-robed poison master opened the white jade box. His expression suddenly changed because the box was empty. Who are you? The black-robed poison master shouted angrily. Boom. Lin Feng exploded. He raised his head and revealed his young and delicate face. It's me. I'm here to take your life. A loud explosion sounded out. Lin Feng had directly used the Qiong Qi treasure technique and attacked the black-robed poison master. Chapter 217. Brat, it's actually you. The black-robed poison master clearly didn't expect that his disciple Li Yong was actually someone else in disguise, and it was Lin Feng in disguise. This gave him a huge shock. The black-robed poison master's reaction was extremely fast. When Lin Feng attacked, he raised his hand and was about to slap Lin Feng. However, it was already too late. Lin Feng's speed was too fast. Moreover, it was a sneak attack at such a close distance. The black-robed poison master was completely caught off guard. He wanted to block Lin Feng's attack, but it was already too late. Bang! Lin Feng's powerful attack ruthlessly smashed into the black-robed poison master's body. Kacha. The black-robed poison master was sent flying, and who knew how many bones in his body were broken. Lin Feng wanted to quickly rush forward and deal with the black-robed poison master. At this moment, the other cultivators of the Soul Devourer Palace shouted, Attack together! Kill this brat! These people recovered from their shock. They didn't expect that this Li Yong was actually an imposter. Now that they saw Lin Feng, their eyes were filled with killing intent. If they could really kill Lin Feng and save the Black-Robe Poison Master, the Black-Robe Poison Master would definitely benefit from them in the future. The few cultivators of the Soul Devourer Palace were filled with killing intent as they quickly rushed towards Lin Feng. These cultivators of the Soul Devourer Palace weren't weak, but they hadn't broken through to the martial general realm. Compared to Lin Feng, there was still a large gap. Facing the siege of 5 experts of the Soul Devourer Palace, Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. Boom, 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 boom. He consecutively threw out 5 punches. Each punch was powerful and contained a terrifying power that could destroy the heavens and earth. Bang, bang, bang. Muffled sounds of collisions rang out. Accompanied by the sound of bones breaking, the 5 cultivators of the Soul Devourer Palace had their arms broken by Lin Feng's punch. Then, Lin Feng's powerful punch ruthlessly smashed into the chest of the cultivators of the Soul Devourer Palace. Kacha kacha. These cultivators of the Soul Devourer Palace had their chests caved in from Lin Feng's punch. The 5 cultivators of the Soul Devourer Palace didn't even have the chance to scream before they were killed by Lin Feng's punch. Plop! Their bodies fell to the ground. They were already dead. Junior, you actually have such strength? The black-robed poison master climbed up from the ground. He looked gloomily at Lin Feng. When Lin Feng had become a prisoner, he hadn't paid attention to Lin Feng at all. He hadn't thought that Lin Feng would be so strong. After all, Lin Feng was only 16 years old. No matter how strong he was, how powerful could he be? Until this moment. The black-robed poison master. I'm still inferior to the black-robed poison master. But one of your arms has been bitten off by the 9-headed demon python. So, you've been severely injured. Then, you've been hit by my attack a moment ago. So, how much fighting strength can you display now? 20? Looks like this place will be your burial ground. Lin Feng sneered. The black-robed poison master was a devil cultivator who willfully slaughtered the innocent. Killing him was a blessing to the world. Lin Feng didn't feel any guilt. Instead, he felt like he was doing something chivalrous, helping the people get rid of a scourge. This was the so-called ancient path of chivalry. The black-robed poison master gloomily looked at Lin Feng and shouted, "Where's my blue-eyed gold snake?" "Haha, you want me to become your medicine slave to nurture your blue-eyed golden snake. You don't know that in my opinion, the blue-eyed golden snake is just my nourishment. I've already refined the blue-eyed golden snake. It's all thanks to your blue-eyed golden snake. Without it, breaking through to the next level would have been much easier." Lin Feng laughed. Hearing that his blue-eyed gold snake, which he had spent so much effort to nurture, had been refined by Lin Feng, the black-robed poison master almost exploded with rage. He angrily roared, "Brat, you're courting death. You're courting death. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to tear you to pieces." As soon as he finished speaking, the black-robed poison master patted a green pouch at his waist. When he saw the green pouch, Lin Feng's eyelids twitched violently. He felt that there was something wrong with that green pouch. Buzz, buzz, buzz. In the next moment, a dense swarm of insects flew out of the green pouch. A beast slave pouch. That green pouch was actually a beast slave pouch. It was said that beast slave pouches were used to store spirit beasts. If a spirit beast was stored in a beast slave pouch, the spirit beast wouldn't die. Lin Feng clearly saw the insects flying out of the beast slave pouch. They were actually winged spiders. They were flying spiders. They were extremely poisonous. An overwhelming number of flying spiders flew out of the beast slave pouch and pounced towards Lin Feng. No wonder the black-robed poison master, this old thing, still had a fearless expression even though he was seriously injured. It turned out that he still had such a backup plan. The overwhelming number of flying spiders pounced over, destroying whoever they saw. Even a Martial King expert would have to think twice before coming here. Therefore, the black-robed poison master didn't put Lin Feng in his eyes at all. Because of these flying spiders, he thought that Lin Feng would die without a doubt. However, the black-robed poison master would never have imagined that Lin Feng had such a terrifying thing as the heavenly fire. Facing the dense swarm of flying spiders, Lin Feng directly took out the heavenly fire. Huff, huff, huff. The heavenly fire burned the heavens and the earth. In the void, flames lingered. The dense swarm of flying spiders was enveloped by the heavenly fire. Although these flying spiders were powerful, they couldn't withstand the attack of the heavenly fire. After being burned by the heavenly fire, the dense swarm of spiders fell to the ground, burned alive by Lin Feng's heavenly fire. The remaining flying spiders were frightened and fled in all directions. How is this possible? This is absolutely impossible. Flying spiders are impervious to fire and water. How could they be burned to death? The black-robed poison master roared in disbelief. Lin Feng sneered inwardly. Flying spiders could withstand ordinary fire, but could they withstand the attack of the heavenly fire? This was the sacred fire that had been nurtured during the creation of the world. Of course, Lin Feng wouldn't say this to the black-robed poison master. Die! Lin Feng took out the black dragon sword and charged towards the black-robed poison master with it. The black-robed poison master's expression was gloomy. He was seriously injured and didn't want to continue fighting. The black-robed poison master waved his robe, and a cloud of black gas enveloped him. Poison! Lin Feng's expression changed slightly, and he quickly retreated. The black-robed poison master turned and fled. Where do you think you're going? Lin Feng's gaze was cold as he threw out the black dragon sword with all his strength. Groan! A dragon's roar could be faintly heard from the black dragon sword. The black dragon sword seemed to transform into a black dragon, baring its fangs and brandishing its claws as it shot towards the black-robed poison master. Black tortoise shield. Facing the attack of the black dragon sword, the black-robed poison master took out a defensive magic treasure. This defensive magic treasure was shaped like a black tortoise. The black-robed poison master held it in his hand and blocked in front of him. He wanted to use the black tortoise shield to block the attack of the black dragon sword. However, the black dragon sword's power was too terrifying, and it directly pierced through the shield. With a poochie sound, the black dragon sword instantly pierced through the black-robed poison master's chest. The black-robed poison master looked down at the black dragon sword that had pierced through his chest and muttered in disbelief. How is this possible? I actually died at the hands of a 16 or 17-year-old boy. The black-robed poison master fell to the ground, facing the sky. Before he died, his eyes were wide open in anger. Chapter 218. He's finally dead. After killing the black-robed poison master, Lin Feng could finally breathe a sigh of relief. After a life-and-death battle, he had survived. Lin Feng was excited. After killing the black-robed poison master, all the treasures on his body would belong to him. Lin Feng quickly went forward and took the black-robed poison master's storage ring and the beast slave pouch hanging on his waist. Then, he released a ball of flame and wrapped it around the black-robed poison master and the other demonic cultivators' corpses, burning them to ashes. After doing all this, Lin Feng left. The night was as cold as water. In the dense forest, the roars of beasts could be heard from time to time. Powerful, vicious beasts would choose to come out at night to hunt for food. Lin Feng found a safe place to hide and took out the things he had obtained from the black-robed poison master. Lin Feng looked at the beast slave pouch first. Previously, the black-robed poison master had used the beast slave pouch to release numerous flying spiders. Lin Feng wondered what was in the beast slave pouch. Lin Feng's divine sense entered the beast slave pouch. Immediately, he saw numerous poisonous creatures. There were scorpions, flying spiders, all kinds of poisonous insects, and of course, 35 blue-eyed gold snakes. This old poison master actually raised so many highly poisonous creatures. Lin Feng couldn't help but be speechless. Many of these poisonous creatures were extremely rare and highly poisonous. For example, a 1,000-legged centipede. As long as one was stung by this poisonous creature, one would die in less than 3 seconds. It's not easy to collect these poisonous creatures. Now, it's all mine. Lin Feng was overjoyed. If he was in a life-and-death battle with others, he might be able to use these poisonous creatures to achieve unexpected results. Although the method was a bit despicable, in the world of cultivators, people only remembered those who lived, not those who died. The most important thing was to try his best to survive. Lin Feng then looked at the storage ring of the black-robed poison master. This black-robed poison master's status in the Soul Devourer Palace should be no small matter. Presumably, this old poison master should have a lot of treasures on him. When Lin Feng's divine will invaded the storage ring, suddenly, a sharp and ear-piercing cry was heard. "Brat, I'll destroy you. I'll completely destroy you." A remnant soul appeared and charged towards Lin Feng's mind. This remnant soul was actually a remnant soul left behind by the black-robed poison master in his storage ring. He wanted to perish together with Lin Feng. Black-robed poison master, your physical body has been destroyed, and only your soul remains. You are no longer a threat to me. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. Facing the black-robed poison master's attack, Lin Feng summoned the purple earthcore fire. The heavenly fire burned fiercely. Chi, 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 chi. The sound of burning could be heard. Ah! The black-robed poison master let out a miserable cry. His remnant soul was dissipating bit by bit. Brat, I won't let you go even if I become a ghost. I curse you to die 10 times more miserably than me. The black-robed poison master cursed bitterly. In the next moment, his remnant soul was completely burned to ashes by the heavenly fire. Lin Feng's expression was indifferent. He didn't care about a dead person's curse at all. The remnant soul left behind by the black-robed poison master in the storage ring was destroyed. Lin Feng's divine will invaded the storage ring of the black-robed poison master. The storage ring was about 5 or 6 square meters. Although it wasn't particularly big, it was filled with all kinds of things. In addition to all kinds of spiritual herbs, there were also many poisons, poisonous herbs, and so on. After all, the black-robed poison master was a poison master and was best at dealing with all kinds of poisons. There were also some books on cultivation, but Lin Feng wasn't interested in them. The only thing he was interested in was the book on poison left behind by the poison master in the Black Chong Pao. There were many ways to concoct poison in that book. In the storage ring, there were also boxes of spirit stones. There were a total of 10 boxes of spirit stones. What made Lin Feng dumbfounded was that these spirit stones were all high-grade spirit stones of excellent quality. These spirit stones were a rare resource. Only ancient powers, or even more powerful ancient powers, could control the resources of spirit stones. Spirit stones were a cultivation resource that couldn't be bought with money. They were extremely precious. An ordinary low-grade spirit stone was worth a lot, not to mention high-grade spirit stones. In the black-robed poison master's storage ring, there were actually 10 boxes of high-grade spirit stones. These high-grade spirit stones were enough to buy dozens of cities. I'm really rich. There are so many high-grade spirit stones. Lin Feng's face was full of joy. Suddenly, Lin Feng's eyes were attracted by a white robe. This white robe was emitting an astonishing fluctuation. It was actually an expensive robe. Robes were much more precious than ordinary robes. Not only did robes have a strong defensive power, many robes also allowed cultivators to have the ability to fly for a short period of time. Although it wasn't fast and couldn't fly for a long time, it was already very amazing. Lin Feng valued the defensive power of this robe. He took it out and put it on. The size was very suitable. In addition to the robe, there were 2 other treasures. The first treasure was a metal ball that contained strong magical fluctuations. Lin Feng took it out and sacrificed it with his blood. It was also a defensive celestial device. The second treasure was a flying sword. This flying sword was pitch black, heavy, and cold. It was called the Black Profound Frost Sword. It was a high-grade celestial device and was extremely precious. It was much more valuable than ordinary flying swords. After killing the black-robed poison master and obtaining so many treasures, Lin Feng was very happy. Of course, the most important thing was that Lin Feng had obtained 35 blue-eyed gold snakes. He took out all 35 of them. These snakes stuck out their forked tongues as if they wanted to attack Lin Feng. Oomph! Lin Feng sneered and immediately activated his devouring martial spirit. A black hole appeared and swallowed all 35 snakes. Bang, bang, bang. A series of explosions rang out, and the 35 blue-eyed gold coin snakes all exploded, turning into the purest form of energy. Lin Feng began to absorb this energy. Boom, boom, boom. Within Lin Feng's body, waves of tyrannical power exploded and rose crazily. This power was enough to shake the mountains and rivers. Lin Feng's power rose crazily. He originally had a strength of 800 million pounds. Soon, it broke through to 1 billion and continued to soar. 2 billion, 3 billion, 4 billion. It rose all the way to 10 billion. Breakthrough, breakthrough, breakthrough. Feeling the terrifying power rising in his body, Lin Feng roared 3 times. All the power in his body gathered together and formed the shadow of an immemorial dragonesque elephant. Within Lin Feng's dantian, the immemorial dragonesque elephant stepped on the ground and roared into the sky. Its roar shook the mountains and rivers. Lin Feng opened his eyes and stood up. He laughed loudly, "Ha ha, the strength of a dragonesque elephant. I finally reached the martial general realm." Lin Feng jumped up and punched a 10,000-meter-high mountain in the distance. Bang! The palm hit the 10,000-meter-high mountain, and the entire mountain instantly collapsed. Chapter 219. The strength of a dragon elephant is really powerful. Lin Feng let out a long roar. He felt refreshed and high-spirited. When an ordinary cultivator broke through to the general realm, they would have the strength of 1 dragon, which was equivalent to 1 billion gene of strength. This was the first layer of the general realm. At the second layer of the general realm, their strength could reach 5 dragons. At the third layer of the general realm, their strength could reach 25 dragons. At the fourth layer of the general realm, their strength could reach 125 dragons. At the 10th layer of the general realm, their strength could reach 1,953,125 dragons. With every increase in level, one's cultivation would increase greatly. And when Lin Feng broke through to the general realm, the strength of a dragon elephant was equivalent to the strength of 10 dragons. He had just broken through to the general realm, and he could already crush a second-layer general. If Lin Feng's third-layer devouring martial spirit was activated, his strength could reach the strength of 3 dragon elephants, which was equivalent to an ordinary cultivator's strength of 30 dragons. At this time, Lin Feng could easily crush cultivators of the third sky of martial general layer. This time, for Lin Feng, it was a pleasant surprise. After breaking through, Lin Feng did not stop and quickly flew in the direction of Fallen Moon City. On the way, Lin Feng saw Lan Yao and the others. Lan Yao and the others were still searching for Lin Feng's whereabouts. Enemies are really bound to meet on a narrow road. Lin Feng narrowed his eyes and looked at Lan Yao. Lin Feng naturally did not have any good impression of Lan Yao, who was as beautiful as an angel on the outside but as terrifying as a devil on the inside. No matter how beautiful a woman with a poisonous heart was on the outside, it was only a kind of external beauty and not a beauty in the heart. Perhaps I can find an opportunity to capture this Lan Yao. Lin Feng rubbed his chin. Lan Yao's strength was quite terrifying. Lin Feng guessed that her strength was at least at the 3rd layer of the general realm. The most likely realm was the 4th or 5th layer of the general realm. It was naturally very difficult to deal with her. If it was the Lin Feng before his breakthrough, he would definitely run for his life the moment he saw Blue Enchantress. However, now that Lin Feng had broken through to the martial general realm, his strength had increased tremendously. If he used the formation, he might be able to capture Lan Xiaoji alive. Lin Feng made up his mind and dashed off into the distance. In a valley, Lin Feng laid down 3 great formations. The first was the Azure Dragon Grand Formation, the second was the Hurricane Grand Formation, and the third was the Winding Grand Formation. These 3 formations were set up to deal with Lan Xiaoji. Lan Yaoji and the others searched for Lin Feng for a few days, but they couldn't find Lin Feng. A Soul Devourer Hall cultivator said, "Elder Blue, that kid should have escaped, right? Otherwise, why would there be no news at all?" Lan Yaoji frowned and said, "I have a feeling that the kid is still in this forest. I just don't know where he is hiding. My instincts have never been wrong. He is severely injured, and there is even a green-eyed golden snake in his body. Where can he run to?" Swoosh. At that moment, a figure flashed in the distance. "It's that kid." A Soul Devourer Hall cultivator suddenly shouted. He saw Lin Feng. "Chase him." Lan Yaoji's beautiful eyes suddenly lit up, and she immediately chased after him. The others also quickly chased after him, but they still couldn't find Lin Feng. "Split up and look for him. If you see him, immediately use the flying celestial flame to contact me," ordered Lan Yaoji. "Understood." The other Soul Devourer Hall cultivators quickly dispersed. "You can't escape," sneered Lan Yaoji. She ran into the forest and disappeared without a trace. 2 hours later, Lan Yaoji saw a figure in the forest in front of her. "Found him." She quickly chased after him, and a charming smile appeared on her beautiful face. You're really good at running, but you can't escape from me. Lin Feng turned around and looked at Lan Yaoji. He smiled coldly and said, Hee hee, it won't be that easy to catch me. Is that so? I'd like to see if you can escape from me. Lan Yaoji smiled coldly and chased after him. Besides, Lin Feng was moving towards the depths of the forest. He was running at full speed towards the valley where he had set up a gigantic deployment spell. Lan Yaoji caught up with him after a short while. Lan Yaoji glanced around and saw that the valley was the only place she could hide. She sneered and ran into the valley. Come out. I know you're hiding here. It's useless. You can't escape today, said Lan Yaoji coldly. Haha, I think it's you who can't escape today. Suddenly, a loud laugh came from 100-meter-tall mountain. Lan Yaoji raised her head and saw Lin Feng at the top of the mountain. He was looking at her with evil intentions. When she saw Lin Feng's expression, Lan Yaoji's heart skipped a beat. She had a feeling that something wasn't right. Retreat. Lan Yaoji immediately ran out of the valley, but it was too late for her to retreat. Great Formation. Activate. Lin Feng shouted and injected his true qi into the Great Formation he had set up. Buzz. The Great Formation was activated. In order to set up the 3 Great Formations, Lin Feng had spent dozens of precious materials. He had spent more than a year collecting them, but it was worth it to deal with Lan Yaoji. Great Formation. Lan Yaoji's expression changed slightly. She couldn't enter the formation. Lan Yaoji understood this very well. She knew how dangerous it was to be trapped in a great formation. But when she thought about how the person who had set up the formation was Lin Feng, she felt relieved. It took many years of hard work to become a high-level spiritual formation master. Lin Feng was so young. So Lan Yaoji didn't believe that Lin Feng was a powerful spiritual formation master. In Lan Yaoji's opinion, Lin Feng was probably just a beginner spiritual formation master. He knew how to set up a few very simple great formations. But she didn't need to be afraid of such a simple great formation. You want to trap me with a great formation? What a joke. Today, I'll destroy the great formation you've set up. Lan Yaoji sneered and slammed her palm towards the runes that were floating in the air. Bang! When Lan Yaoji's palm hit the runes, a powerful rebounding force exploded. That powerful rebounding force forced Lan Yaoji to retreat. How is this possible? Lan Yaoji was in disbelief. Lin Feng laughed. Lan Yaoji, I'm a yellow rank, low rank, and peak spiritual formation master. Even the black-robed poison master couldn't break my great formation, let alone you. What? Yellow rank, low rank, and peak spiritual formation master? That's impossible. Lan Yaoji shouted in disbelief. Chapter 220. It was not easy to become a spirit array master. Lan Yaoji came from a large demonic faction like the Soul Devourer Palace, so she naturally knew how difficult it was to become a spirit array master. In the early years, Lan Yaoji was even tested to be a spirit array master. She cultivated for 10 years, but she did not have any achievements, so she gave up on becoming a spirit array master. Even in a large faction like the Soul Devourer Palace, there were only 4 or 5 spirit array masters. Lin Feng was only 16 or 17 years old, but he was already yellow rank, beginner, and peak spirit array master. This was indeed too shocking. Many people came into contact with spirit arrays from the age of 10. By the age of 30, it was already quite heaven-defying to be able to cultivate to the yellow rank, beginner, and peak spirit array master. Even if Lin Feng started cultivating spirit arrays in his mother's womb, he would not be able to break through to the yellow rank, beginner, and peak spirit array master, right? Just now, you were bounced back by the spirit array I set up. Doesn't that explain everything? Lin Feng smiled. Lan Yaoji suppressed the shock in her heart. She said, So what if you're a yellow rank, beginner, and peak spirit array master? I'm at the 5th level of the martial general realm. Do you think you can deal with me with this array? At most, you can trap me and make me unable to leave. If you want to use a mere array to catch me, it's simply wishful thinking. How would I know if I don't try? Lin Feng sneered. He waved his right hand, and the first layer of the green dragon array was activated. White fog lingered. Amidst the rolling white fog, a huge monster appeared. The huge monster was 1,000 meters long. It was like a mountain lying in the void. It was winding and spiraling, vigorous and powerful. This was the green dragon condensed by the green dragon array. Green dragon claws. The huge green dragon attacked, and its mountain-like claws slapped towards Lan Jiaoji. It's actually in green dragon. Lan Jiaoji's expression became slightly serious. She came from a faction like the Soul Devourer Palace and had been a spirit array apprentice for 10 years. Naturally, she knew that the green dragon condensed by the array was definitely very powerful. Facing the green dragon's attack, Lan Jiaoji did not stop and slapped her palm towards the green dragon. Bang! The two sides clashed fiercely. Dang, 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 dang. Lan Jiaoji felt a terrifying power enter her body, and she was forced to retreat. With just this attack, Lan Jiaoji knew how powerful Lin Feng's formation was. Kid, we can negotiate. What do you think? Lan Jiaoji was a very decisive person. She actually wanted to negotiate with Lin Feng. Lin Feng naturally wouldn't agree. Are you dreaming? Lin Feng sneered and activated the second formation. Hoo hoo hoo. Violent winds swept across the world. The second formation was the hurricane formation. Once it was activated, it could form a violent hurricane. Gusts of hurricanes began to blow in the valley. These tornadoes had a powerful suction force that enveloped Lan Jiaoji. Lan Jiaoji couldn't even stand still and was almost swept into the air by the hurricane array. This made Lan Jiaoji's expression become very ugly. However, she was a fifth firmament martial general after all, and she had many tricks up her sleeves. When she was about to be swept into the air, Lan Jiaoji used a technique called 1,000-kilogram drop. Once this technique was used, the weight of the body would increase by more than 1,000 times. Lan Jiaoji allowed the hurricane to sweep over her, but she remained as still as a mountain. This Lan Jiaoji is so powerful that even the hurricane can't blow her away. Seeing that Lan Jiaoji blocked the hurricane attack, Lin Feng was slightly surprised. However, he continued to attack Azure Dragon and Blue Demonis. The green dragon extended its claw towards Lan Jiaoji again. At the same time, Lin Feng silently snuck towards Lan Jiaoji. He held the black dragon sword in his hand and slashed towards Lan Jiaoji from the back. In front of her was the giant green dragon condensed by the green dragon formation, while behind her was Lin Feng, who had silently snuck over. One in front and one in the back, one in the light and one in the dark, they attacked Lan Jiaoji. Who would have thought that Lan Jiaoji would be so powerful? Lan Jiaoji's body emitted a terrifying power that made Lin Feng feel suffocated. Clearly, Lan Jiaoji had begun to display the peak strength of a fifth firmament martial general. She slapped towards the green dragon with her left hand, and with a flash of light in her right hand, a short sword appeared in her hand. Lan Jiaoji seemed to have eyes on her back as she casually slashed towards her back. Clang! A sonorous sound of collision rang out as Lan Jiaoji's short sword collided with Lin Feng's black dragon sword. Lan Jiaoji's short sword was clearly a powerful treasure as it was able to block the black dragon sword's sharpness. A terrifying power flowed into Lin Feng's body through the black dragon sword and directly sent Lin Feng flying. Lin Feng felt his blood and qi churn, and he almost spat out a mouthful of blood. He quickly circulated his devouring martial spirit to devour the violent power that had entered his body, and only then did he feel much better. So powerful. Lin Feng was shocked. A fifth firmament martial general was indeed terrifying. He was suppressed by the formation, and with the help of his true body, he was actually at a disadvantage. From this, it could be seen how powerful Lan Jiaoji was. Lan Jiaoji quickly flew towards Lin Feng and stabbed her sword towards Lin Feng. She actually wanted to kill Lin Feng. Binding formation. Lin Feng activated the third formation, and dense threads appeared in the air, and those threads quickly wrapped around Lan Jiaoji's body. There's a third formation. Lan Jiaoji's expression changed slightly, but her reaction was extremely fast. Lan Jiaoji quickly attacked, and the short sword in her hand started to burn fiercely. It was indeed a powerful magic tool, and there was a layer of flames coiling around it. Lan Jiaoji used the short sword to instantly cut off the threads that were wrapped around her body. But, at this moment, Lin Feng had already rushed over. Lin Feng slapped towards Lan Yaoji. Lan Yaoji had just used the short sword to cut off the threads that were wrapped around her body. At this moment, it was already too late to block Lin Feng's attack. With a muffled bang, Lan Yaoji was sent flying by Lin Feng's slap, and her pretty face became very pale. Her body flew backwards. Lin Feng activated the binding formation again. Dense threads wrapped around Lan Yaoji's body again, and the short sword in Lan Yaoji's hand fell to the ground. This time, she couldn't resist and fell to the ground with a thud. Lin Feng quickly rushed over and tapped Lan Yaoji's body 3 times in a row. He directly dispersed Lan Yaoji's true qi, and for a short period of time, Lan Yaoji lost her ability to fight. Lan Yaoji also discovered that her true qi had been dispersed by Lin Feng, and her face immediately became pale. Chapter 221. She quickly calmed herself down and looked at Lin Feng as she said, "I really didn't expect you to be such a monstrous person. You're so young yet so powerful, and you're also such a powerful spirit array master. My defeat today wasn't unjustified." Lin Feng was slightly surprised by Lan Xiaoji's calmness, and he asked, "What? You don't seem to be worried about being captured by me." Lan Xiaoji said, "From what I see, there's always room for a buffer. It's not like there's a situation where one of us has to die. You didn't treat me like this back then." Lin Feng pinched Lan Xiaoji's snow-white chin, and his right hand slowly moved downwards. He stroked Lan Xiaoji's snow-white, slender neck, and it seemed like he was going to continue moving downwards. Even though Lan Xiaoji looked like a seductive vixen, she wasn't a lascivious woman. Instead, she was very conservative. When she saw Lin Feng's actions, she cried out in fear, "What are you doing? Are you finally afraid?" Lin Feng looked at Lan Xiaoji with a smile that didn't seem like a smile. Lan Xiaoji bit her red lips and said, "If you're a man, you can't bully a woman like this." "What? You're admitting that you're a woman now? Before this, I always thought that you were a demon who killed without batting an eyelid." Lin Feng finally placed his hand on the enormous thing. "It's really big." Lin Feng couldn't help but sigh. Lan Xiaoji's face was so red that it seemed like it could bleed. She said, "You can take advantage of me, but I won't submit to you." Lin Feng said, "Is that so? I'm quite interested in taking you in as a slave." Lin Feng narrowed his eyes as he looked at Lan Xiaoji. She had a peerlessly beautiful face and a peerlessly beautiful body. If he really had such a peerless female slave, it would be quite a good thing. When that time came, Tian would probably be too tired to get out of bed. "You." Lan Xiaoji's gaze turned cold. "Hee, are you feeling discouraged? Before this, you've always been high and mighty. You can even casually take the lives of others and trample on lives as you wish. You never imagined that you would one day become someone's slave, right?" Lin Feng sneered as he looked at Lan Xiaoji. "You want to take me as your slave? Are you even worthy?" Lan Xiaoji said coldly, "Whether I'm worthy or not, we'll have to try. If you're smart, you should take the initiative to swear a blood oath and recognize me as your master." Lin Feng said. "Just kill me," said Lin Feng. Lan Yaoji turned her face to the side. "It would be a pity to kill you." Lin Feng's hand moved up and down Lan Xiaoji's body. "No." Lan Yaoji screamed and wanted to struggle, but Lin Feng held her down and she couldn't get away. She could only let Lin Feng do whatever he wanted to her. Soon, Lan Xiaoji felt a reaction in her body, although he was very resistant in his heart. However, her body was sometimes hard to resist. Her breathing gradually became hurried. "I'm wondering if I should strip you naked," said Lin Feng. Lin Feng smiled as he looked at Lan Xiaoji. "No." Lan Xiaoji screamed in fear. At that moment, when Lan Xiaoji was panicking and unprepared, Lin Feng's powerful soul power entered her mind. Lan Xiaoji would never submit to him. Lin Feng knew that very well. Therefore, he wanted to forcibly imprint his soul on Lan Xiaoji's soul. That way, Lan Xiaoji would be considered as Lin Feng's slave. Lan Xiaoji couldn't even resist. That was because Lin Feng could sense her thoughts. If Lan Xiaoji had any bad thoughts, Lin Feng only needed a thought to kill her. When Lin Feng teased Lan Xiaoji before, it was just to distract her. It wasn't easy to forcibly enslave a cultivator at Lan Xiaoji's level. However, If Blue Demoness was distracted, it would be much easier to deal with her. Lin Feng's powerful soul power entered Lan Jiaoji's mind and quickly swept towards her soul. But at that moment, a terrifying aura was emitted from Lan Jiaoji's mind. Something's wrong. Lin Feng's expression changed slightly. He realized that something was wrong and wanted to quickly leave Lan Jiaoji's mind. But it was too late. 12 white-clothed fairies appeared in Lan Jiaoji's mind. They walked over and surrounded Lin Feng's soul. What's this? Lin Feng was shocked. He didn't think that something like this would happen. What were these 12 fairies? How could they be so strange? Little boy, do you think I don't know that you want to forcibly leave a soul brand in my soul? I was cooperating with you because I was worried that you wouldn't do it. Now, your soul has entered my mind. Let's see how you're going to escape today. I'll destroy your soul and you'll die. Lan Jiaoji's soul turned into her appearance and stood in the distance. She coldly looked at Lin Feng's soul, which had entered her mind. Lan Jiaoji had been scheming against Lin Feng all this time. Woman, you're really treacherous, said Lin Feng coldly. A man with a small heart isn't a gentleman, but it's not as difficult as a woman. A woman's heart is like a needle at the bottom of the ocean. You men think that you're smart, but in reality, you're still being played by me, said Lan Jiaoji coldly. What are these 12 fairies? Asked Lin Feng coldly. Ha ha ha, of course they're here to kill you, said Lan Jiaoji coldly. Then, she used the 12 fairies to attack Lin Feng's soul. The 12 fairies attacked with swords. Their chi was terrifying. Lin Feng's heart was pounding. Soul sword. Lin Feng's soul turned into a sword and rushed towards Lan Jiaoji's soul. Since he couldn't make Lan Jiaoji recognize him as her master, Lin Feng decided to kill her. You really don't know how to be gentle with a woman, said Lan Jiaoji coldly. Why should I be gentle with a woman like you who kills people like flies? Said Lin Feng coldly. His soul sword slashed at Lan Jiaoji, but the 12 fairies blocked it. Boom! The two sides collided violently. A terrifying strength exploded. The 12 celestial beings were terrifying. Lin Feng's tiny soul and Lan Jiaoji's tiny soul started fighting. After a few hundred attacks, both sides were injured. Lin Feng's tiny soul went back to his brain. Lan Jiaoji's 12 celestial beings didn't chase after Lin Feng's tiny soul. Their faces were deathly pale. They sat down on the ground, gasping for breath. Soul battles were too dangerous. In the end, their souls had been injured and they couldn't move anymore. Chapter 222. In the end, both sides were heavily injured. Lin Feng looked coldly at Lan Jiaoji and said, I didn't expect you to have such a big secret in your mind. Once I recover, I'll dig it out. Lan Jiaoji pouted. My cultivation is higher than yours. Even if I recover, I'll be the first to recover, not you. Let's wait and see. Lin Feng stood up and leaned against a tree, trying his best to recover. Lan Jiaoji did the same. Lin Feng used the archaic dragonesque elephant technique. The archaic dragonesque elephant's power nourished Lin Feng's soul origin. His injured soul origin was quickly recovering. Lan Jiaoji was also using some sort of technique to quickly heal her injured soul. Lin Feng's archaic dragonesque elephant technique was the #1 forbidden technique of the immemorial era. Naturally, it would heal his injured soul origin very quickly. Lin Feng felt that the pain in his soul was slowly disappearing. At the same time, the body's strength was also rapidly recovering. After 2 hours, Lin Feng had recovered 30%. He quickly stood up and walked towards Lan Jiaoji. How did you recover so quickly? Lan Jiaoji's expression changed drastically. Hee, I can't answer that. Lin Feng slammed his palm towards Lan Jiaoji. Buzz. At that moment, a terrifying wave surged out of Lan Jiaoji's mind. Then, 12 white-clothed fairies rushed out with swords. How is this possible? Lin Feng was stupefied. He couldn't believe his eyes. He had always thought that the 12 fairies in Lan Jiaoji's mind were just soul attacks. Now, it seemed like that wasn't the case. They had actually flown out of Lan Jiaoji's mind and attacked him. This was too shocking. Whoosh! Lin Feng quickly retreated. Boom! The 12 fairies slashed out with their swords, and a large part of the forest was destroyed. Lin Feng sucked in a breath of cold air. The attack of these 12 fairies was too terrifying. However, he retreated fast enough. Otherwise, if this attack landed on him, he would most likely die. After the 12 fairies attacked, they didn't continue to attack Lin Feng. Lan Xiaoji's face was very pale. It was clear that Lan Yaoji had paid a great price to use such an ultimate move. The 12 fairies quickly returned to Lan Xiaoji's mind. Lan Xiaoji actually coughed up blood. "I'll remember you. Next time I see you, I'll kill you." Lan Xiaoji gritted her teeth. Bang! In the next moment, Lan Xiaoji's body exploded. She turned into a cloud of black mist and flew into the distance. In the blink of an eye, he disappeared without a trace. This should be the Soul Devourer Temple's secret escape technique. Lin Feng wanted to chase after it, but he could no longer catch up. This woman has hidden herself very deeply. How terrifying. Lin Feng frowned slightly. However, Lin Feng wasn't worried or afraid. Even though this woman's strength was extraordinary and she was hiding many secrets, Lin Feng wasn't afraid. But wasn't Lin Feng the same? Lin Feng was convinced that with his cultivation speed, he would be able to surpass Lan Yaoji very quickly. Lin Feng didn't stop. He spread his golden wings and quickly flew towards Fallen Moon City. Fallen Moon City was built in a mountain range. 800 miles of mountain range was the border between Jinwu Country and the Orc Empire. It was said that a peerless cultivator of the human race had moved the mountain range from a distant place to separate the human race and the Orc Empire. 10 days later, Lin Feng arrived in front of a mountain range. "I've arrived at the Fallen Moon mountain range. It's not far from Fallen Moon City." Lin Feng took a deep breath. Many things had happened on the way, but at least he had arrived safely. The next day, in the afternoon, Lin Feng could already see the majestic and ancient city. Fallen Moon City. Lin Feng quickly flew towards Fallen Moon City. Suddenly, he saw a massive demon chi flying through the mountain range. A demon chi cultivator. Lin Feng was astonished. This was the territory of Fallen Moon City. How could a demon chi cultivator sneak in? How could those demon chi cultivators be so audacious? That massive demon chi turned into a middle-aged man. That middle-aged man was wearing black clothes. His eyes were gloomy, and he was releasing a terrifying chi. Lin Feng was hiding in the dark. He was silently observing. When night fell, a silhouette flew out of Fallen Moon City. It was a man wearing Taoist robes. He looked around 27 or 28 years old. He was very handsome. "Wu Yangtian, you're late," said the demon chi cultivator coldly. "It's not that I'm late, it's that you're early. It's not even dark yet, and you're already here. Aren't you afraid of being discovered?" "You're not afraid of death, but I'm afraid of being implicated," said the man called Wu Yangtian coldly. "Wu Yangtian, aren't you a little too cowardly? What are you afraid of in this vast mountain range? If you're discovered, just kill him," said the demon chi cultivator coldly. "Elderly, you don't have to worry. If worst comes to worst, I'll just leave. I'm betting my life on this," said Wu Yangtian coldly. "All right, let's stop arguing. I called you here today to tell you our plan," said Li Doxi. "Oh, plan?" Wu Yangtian looked at Li Doxi. Li Doxi said, "Originally, there were a few masters who wanted to secretly intervene in the war between the Beastmen and Jinwu Country, but Sun Moon City also sent a few masters to confront them. But that's good. We'll attack together with the Beastmen and destroy Fallen Moon City first. Then, we'll invade and conquer Jinwu Country. Then, Jinwu Country will become the base of the Soul Devourer Temple, and it'll be the foundation for the Soul Devourer Temple to rise again. You'll be the emperor of Jinwu Country." "Good, very good," shouted Wu Yangtian excitedly. Li Doxi gave a brocade to Wu Yangtian and said, "The details are written on it. Go back and burn it." "All right." Wu Yangtian nodded. Suddenly, Li Doxi's expression changed. "Who's there?" shouted Li Doxi coldly. His gaze swept across his surroundings. "Someone's there?" Wu Yangtian's expression became gloomy, but he didn't see anyone. "Oh no, have I been discovered? Or is he trying to trick me?" Lin Feng's expression changed. Lin Feng didn't act rashly. He hid himself even more. The demon cultivator was terrifyingly strong. He might even be a great king. "You don't want to come out?" Li Doxi smiled coldly. Demonic lights dashed to the sky from Lee Doxy's Danteon. Primeval Demon Master, Primeval Demon Master. A deep roar spread in the air. 12 terrifying figures flew out from the demonic lights. When Lin Feng looked closely, he saw 12 skulls. The 12 skulls quickly flew away, releasing a demonic fog. The surrounding mountains were crushed by the demonic fog. What terrifying skulls! Let's go. Lin Feng didn't dare stay. The skulls would quickly reach him. If he didn't leave now, he wouldn't be able to. Swoosh! Lin Feng quickly flew away. Damn it, I have to kill him. Wu Yangtian's expression became ferocious. That little boy is dead. Li Doxy smiled ferociously and waved his hand. Primeval Demon Master, Primeval Demon Master. The 12 skulls quickly chased after Lin Feng. They were as fast as lightning. Chapter 223. Elderly. Are the 12 skulls reliable? That kid won't get away, right? Asked Wu Yangtian worriedly. Said Li Doxy confidently. The 12 skulls are the clones I successfully refined when I became a martial king. They've been refined for 60 years. Even an ordinary martial king would be killed if surrounded by them, let alone a little general. All right, we must kill him, said Wu Yangtian ferociously. Lin Feng flapped his golden wings and flew towards Fallen Moon City. However, the 12 skulls were extremely fast. They quickly caught up with him. They're so fast, I'm in trouble. Lin Feng's face turned ugly when he saw the 12 skulls chasing after him. Those skulls were too terrifying. Lin Feng had seen the skulls attack a moment ago. They had destroyed mountains in an instant. How terrifying was that? It was shocking. Lin Feng quickly flew away, but the 12 skulls didn't give up. Lin Feng couldn't shake them off. Primeval Demon Lord, Primeval Demon Lord. The skulls kept roaring, calling the Primeval Demon Lord. Lin Feng didn't know why they were calling the Primeval Demon Lord. According to what he knew, the Primeval Demon Lord was a holy emperor from the immemorial era. Could it be that the skulls could communicate with the Primeval Demon Lord and borrow his strength? The skulls at the front quickly chased after Lin Feng. They opened their bloody mouths and tried to swallow him. Lin Feng raised his black dragon sword and slashed at the skulls. Slash! The black dragon sword's power was astonishing. It cut the skulls in half. However, something that made people's hair stand on end happened. They saw that the skull that was split in half actually gathered together again, and it was as good as new. Shit, what kind of ability is that? Lin Feng was startled. The skulls had been cut in half, but they had merged back together. That ability was monstrous. How were they supposed to fight? It was impossible to kill these skeletons. Puny human brat, you've hurt me. I'm going to eat you. The skull roared and quickly chased after Lin Feng. Whoosh! The skull opened its mouth and spat out black fog that filled the sky. Lin Feng had seen that the black fog spewed out by the skulls could instantly crush a mountain range. He knew how powerful the black fog was. He sped up, wanting to shake off the skulls. However, the skulls were fast enough that he couldn't shake them off. The black fog that the skulls spat out was very aggressive. Dodging it was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. Therefore, Lin Feng's expression was very ugly. But Lin Feng didn't panic. While facing the black smoke coming from the skull, Lin Feng released his absorbing spirit which transformed into a black hole and absorbed the black smoke. Whoosh whoosh! At this moment, the rest of the skulls quickly flew out. Jiji Jiji! These skulls let out eerie cries that made one's hair stand on end. It seems like you can't deal with this brat alone, said one of the skulls. My God, do these skulls have intelligence? Lin Feng felt his scalp go numb. Everything he had seen today was too strange. If he told others that he had seen 12 talking skulls, they would probably think he was crazy. However, that was the truth. These skulls were extremely strange. Not only did they have powerful attacks, but they also had their own consciousness. Lin Feng couldn't help but admire the methods of the demonic path. They were really strange. The skull that had attacked Lin Feng first sneered and said, "Dealing with a human general is just an ant. I was just careless." Enough. Don't find excuses for your failure. Master is waiting for us to return. Don't waste any more time. Everyone, attack together. said another skull. The green light in the eyes of the first skull flickered rapidly, as if it was angry. However, it didn't do anything because Li Doxi was indeed waiting for them to return. Moreover, this place wasn't far from Fallen Moon City. They had to quickly get rid of Lin Feng. If they took too long, it wouldn't be good if they alerted the strong cultivators of the human race. Hoo! The 12 skulls all opened their mouths and spat out demonic chi towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng had used his devouring martial spirit to devour the demonic chi of one of the skulls, and he already felt that he couldn't endure it. Now, there were 12 skulls attacking him together. Lin Feng didn't dare to block them. He quickly flew away, but it wasn't easy to escape from the 12 skulls. The 12 skulls spat out demonic chi and swept towards Lin Feng. Lin Feng was directly swept away. Wow! Even with Lin Feng's strong physical body, he couldn't help but spit out blood. I'll eat you. I'll eat you. The 12 skulls suddenly gathered together and turned into a gigantic skull. That gigantic skull quickly flew towards Lin Feng and opened its mouth. It wanted to swallow him whole. Oh no! Lin Feng's face suddenly changed. He wanted to dodge, but he couldn't. He pulled a long face. Was he really going to die at the hands of that skull? At that critical moment, Lin Feng's dantian suddenly emitted a terrifying energy. Then, demonic lights dashed to the sky, and the mysterious demonic pearl flew out. The demonic pearl. Lin Feng was shocked. He hadn't thought that the demonic pearl would fly out at a time like this. The demonic pearl was very strange. When Lin Feng had swallowed the fire Qilint's godly power, a low voice had come from the demonic pearl, as if there was a terrifying expert inside the pearl. However, when Lin Feng had searched the pearl, he hadn't found anything. When Lin Feng had encountered the rock golem, he had wanted to use the demonic pearl to deal with it, but it hadn't reacted. This meant that the demonic pearl wasn't under Lin Feng's control. Now, the strange demonic pearl had flown out again. Ah, what's this? What a terrifying demonic chi. The gigantic skull screamed in fear. Swish! A beam of demonic light shot out from the demonic pearl. The demonic light bombarded the skull. Crack! Crack! The skull shattered. The skull turned into the purest form of energy. The demonic pearl emitted a terrifying devouring power, just like when it had devoured the fire Qilint's godly power. After the skull exploded, the demonic pearl devoured the boundless energy. Chapter 224. Wah! Li Doxi suddenly coughed up a mouthful of blood. His face was pale, and he half knelt on the ground, panting heavily. Wu Yangtian was shocked when he saw this. He quickly asked, "Elderly, what's wrong?" "My 12 clones are dead." Li Doxi's eyes were filled with endless hatred and killing intent. He had spent a lot of effort to raise his 12 clones, but now, all of them had been killed. This was a huge blow to Li Doxi's confidence. After losing his 12 clones, Li Doxi's strength had greatly decreased, and now, he had suffered from a backlash and sustained serious injuries. What? My 12 clones were killed? Was it that kid who killed them? I'm done for. I've been exposed. Wu Yangtian's face turned pale. Li Doxi said coldly, "Why are you panicking? It's so dark. It's hard to say if that kid saw us clearly. Besides, so what if he saw us? Who would believe him without any evidence? My 12 avatars were destroyed. It definitely wasn't that brat's doing. He might have a powerful treasure on him. Go back to the city and search for him. Once you find him, kill him without mercy." Wu Yangtian calmed down and said, "I didn't see his face clearly. I only remember a rough figure. It'll be difficult to find him." Hee. Flying secret techniques aren't something that just anyone can use. Focus on the young masters with extraordinary backgrounds. Li Doxi said. "All right." Wu Yangtian nodded. "Let's play it by ear." Li Doxi flew away after saying that. He wanted nothing more than to cut Lin Feng into 1,000 pieces. However, he didn't dare to stay here for too long. Perhaps some experts from Sun Moon City had secretly come to Fallen Moon City. If they saw him, he would definitely die. Wu Yangtian didn't stop either. He quickly flew in the direction of Fallen Moon City. Whoosh! After devouring the skull, the demonic orb entered Lin Feng's body again. Lin Feng felt helpless. This demonic orb was too strange. Moreover, it wasn't under his control and had been hiding in his dantian. Was it a blessing or a curse? But judging from the current situation, it wasn't a curse. Lin Feng didn't stop, flying in the direction of Fallen Moon City. Fallen Moon City was an ancient border city that had been built for more than 5,000 years. It was extremely sturdy and had withstood the Beastmen Empire's invasion many times. That night, Lin Feng entered Fallen Moon City. However, Fallen Moon City was rather deserted. Perhaps because they felt the smoke of war, many people left Fallen Moon City. After entering Fallen Moon City, Lin Li Doxy. Of course. Of the fallen moon of the fallen moon cities of the fallen moon city. Of the fallen moon city of fallen of the fallen of the fallen. Of the fallen of fallen of them. I wonder who the person who colluded with the demonic cultivator is? Lin Feng frowned. Soon, they arrived at the city lord mansion. Brat, this is the Castellan Manor. Do not barge in. Leave, or you'll be flogged 30 times. A guard blocked Lin Feng's path. Lin Feng replied, Azure Dragon Institute Lin Feng. Please report my name. Azure Dragon Institute's Lin Feng? You're that Lin Feng, Lin Gongzi, who killed the Beastmen Empire's blood-robed beast tamer. Hearing Lin Feng's self-introduction, more than a dozen guards exclaimed in shock. It turned out that when Lin Feng killed the blood-robed beast tamer, he was seen by someone. The news of the blood-robed beast tamer's death soon spread to Fallen Moon City. Long Shiyu's group arrived at Fallen Moon City and reported this matter to the Castellan. According to them, Captain Lin Feng had gone alone to hunt down the blood-robed beast tamer. According to the recollections of those who witnessed the battle, the one who killed the blood-robed beast tamer was indeed a 16 to 17-year-old boy. Connecting the dots, wasn't the one who killed the blood-robed beast tamer Lin Feng? This matter caused a great uproar in the Fallen Moon City. 20 years ago, in the Great War between the Beastmen Empire and true martial country, it was this blood-robed beast tamer who gathered the fierce beast army. That fierce beast army directly annihilated the true martial country's 80,000-strong army. This was an extremely heavy loss. Therefore, the true martial country's people, especially the generals and soldiers stationed in the northwest, wished they could cut the blood-robed beast tamer into 1,000 pieces. Because 20 years ago, those who died were their friends and family. But the blood-robed beast tamer remained unpunished. Some time ago, news had reached Fallen Moon City, saying that the Beastmen Empire had once again invited the blood-robed beast tamer to participate in this great war. This matter caused a great panic in the true martial country's Northwest Crimson Flame Legion, one of the true martial country's 5 great legions stationed 30 li outside of Fallen Moon City and Fallen Moon City. Many of the surviving soldiers had become generals by now, but they still couldn't forget the tragic battle 20 years ago. In the sky, countless flying beasts, and on the ground, countless fierce beasts charged toward the true martial country's army. That battle was truly too tragic. At first, everyone was worried that the battle between the true martial country and the Beastmen Empire would be the same as 20 years ago. The true martial country's army was slaughtered and crushed by the fierce beast army. But who would have thought that at this time, news would spread that the Azure Dragon Institute's Captain Lin Feng, who had led a team of reinforcements to Fallen Moon City, had chased after the blood-robed beast tamer alone for more than 100 li, killing several hundred fierce beasts and beastmen soldiers, including the blood-robed beast tamer. When this news reached the true martial country, it caused an uproar. Countless soldiers of the Crimson Flame Legion roared toward the sky, as if they were consoling the souls of their comrades who had died 20 years ago. Some of the surviving veterans knelt on the ground, sobbing. Many of them were muttering, "Brother, someone has finally avenged you." Or, "Big brother, the blood-robed beast tamer is dead. Your revenge has finally been avenged." Of course, other than avenging the 80,000 true martial country soldiers who had died 20 years ago, this time, Lin Feng had killed the blood-robed beast tamer. The Beastmen Empire would no longer be able to form an army of fierce beasts. If it was a battle between legions, the true martial country wasn't afraid of the Beastmen Empire. The blood-robed beast tamer's death had saved at least 70 to 80,000 true martial country soldiers. The true martial country's army's morale was greatly boosted. On the other hand, the fallen Moon City side was also in an uproar. The blood-robed beast tamer's death was simply too satisfying. Not to mention, this was a crucial moment in the battle between the true martial country and the Beastmen Empire. Chapter 225. Lin Feng had just arrived at Fallen Moon City, so he had no idea that the news of him killing the crimson-robed beast tamer had already spread throughout the city. Lin Feng was a little surprised as he looked at these guards, asking, "Do you know me?" The guard captain quickly answered, of course we know you." Lin Gongzi chased after the crimson-robed beast tamer and the others for 100 li, killing several hundred fierce beasts and beastmen soldiers. In the end, even the crimson-robed beast tamer was killed by Lin Gongzi. This news has spread far and wide. Lin Feng was slightly surprised. He didn't expect this matter to be known by everyone. Lin Feng said, "It's nothing, it's what I should do." The guard captain instantly shed tears, saying, "Young noble doesn't know. Many of our Northwest soldiers' relatives died in that battle 20 years ago. Who knows how many people hate the crimson-robed beast tamer to the bone. Even my father and 2 uncles died tragically in that battle 20 years ago. Young noble killed the crimson-robed beast tamer and took revenge for us. Please accept this humble one's respect." Lin Feng quickly supported the guard captain, saying, "Don't do this. Everyone is responsible for the country's rise and fall. I believe that no matter who it is, as long as they have the ability, they would do it." "Oh right. Have our Azure Dragon Institute students arrived at the Castellan Manor?" "They have been here for many days, waiting for young noble's arrival. Quick, go in and inform the Castellan and the Azure Dragon Institute students." The guard captain pointed at 2 guards. Yes. Receiving the order, the 2 guards quickly went in to report. Not long after, a large group of people ran out from the Castellan Manor. These were the Azure Dragon Institute's people. "Captain, you're finally back." Long Shiyu, Wu Ming, Yin Gon, and the rest ran over excitedly. Everyone's eyes were filled with excitement, and when they looked at Lin Feng, their gazes were filled with worship. Who was it? Almost single-handedly leading everyone to retreat from the siege of the silver-eyed blood wolves and beastmen soldiers? It was Lin Feng. Who was it? Didn't he pay a great price, using his own blood as a sacrifice, casting a secret technique to strengthen everyone's armor, allowing them to survive that tragic battle? It was Lin Feng. Who was it? Disregarding personal danger, chasing after the silver-eyed blood wolves and beastmen soldiers alone for 100 li, killing hundreds of them? It was Lin Feng. Who was it? Fighting a bloody battle and killing the blood-robed beast tamer who had gathered an army of ferocious beasts to kill 80,000 men of the Zhanwu country 20 years ago? Or Lin Feng? No matter what it was, it could be considered a miracle, but Lin Feng was the one who had done it. The Azure Dragon Institute's disciples and Huang Xiaolong's, the Dragon Institute, the Heavens and Earth Dragon sect was Lin Feng's. Huang Xiaolong, Huang, Heart Huang, Huang's, Huang and Huang, they still remembered when Lin Feng had joined Jialan University. He had been young and inexperienced. Lin Feng had already become a character that they had to look up to. Lin Feng gave Long Shiyu and the others a bear hug, asking with a smile, "How's everyone's recovery?" "Fully recovered. We're just waiting to show off our skills," Wu Ming said with a smile. "The Castellan has arrived." Right at this time, a loud voice sounded, causing everyone to step aside to make way. Lin Feng looked over and saw the Castellan. What surprised Lin Feng the most was that the Castellan was actually a woman. Moreover, it was a beautiful woman. This woman was tall and slender, wearing chainmail. Her hair was tied up in a ponytail, and a sword hung at her waist. Her exquisite face bore some resemblance to Huang Linger's. Before arriving, Lin Feng had already learned some information about Fallen Moon City. The Castellan of Fallen Moon City was called Huang Shilan. She was the only daughter of the Northwestern Grand Marshal, Huang Tianfeng's eldest son, Huang Lei, Huang Linger's older sister. "Lin Feng, it's great that you're back." After seeing Lin Feng, Huang Linger ran over excitedly. "Is this Lin Feng or Lin Gongzi?" "I'm Huang Shilan, the Castellan of Fallen Moon City. I've heard a lot about Lin Gongzi." Although Huang Shilan had a beautiful appearance, her way of doing things was neat and tidy, and she was loved by the locals. Lin Feng said, "The Castellan thinks too highly of me. I'm really ashamed." "Sister," Lin Feng, "there's no need to be so polite. Let's go back and chat. I'm sure everyone has a lot to ask Lin Feng." Huang Linger said, "All right, Lin Gongzi, please." Huang Shilan gestured for him to enter. Lin Feng cupped his fists and walked into the Castellan's mansion with Huang Shilan. 10 or so student representatives entered the hall, as well as some higher-ups of Fallen Moon City. Everyone was interested in what had happened that day, so Lin Feng gave them a simple explanation. After chatting for a while, Huang Shilan said, "I'm sure that Lin Gongzi is very tired. The guest rooms have been prepared. Lin Gongzi can go and rest first. Tomorrow night, people from the Red Flame Army will come as well. At that time, we'll welcome Lin Gongzi together." Lin Feng smiled and said, "Then I'll take my leave." The next day, a banquet was held in the Castellan's mansion to welcome Lin Feng. The Red Flame Army's great general, Zhang Kuei, personally came. Zhang Kuei looked to be in his 50s, and he had been the commander of the Red Flame Army for 20 years. He had personally witnessed the scene of the Red Flame Army being trampled by countless beasts, and he had personally seen countless of his old subordinates die in front of his eyes. After seeing Lin Feng, he bowed deeply to Lin Feng. Lin Feng naturally did not dare to accept it, and he hurriedly helped Zhang Kuei up and said, "Great General, you're too kind." Zhang Kuei said, "This bow is for the 80,000 men who died tragically at the hands of the beasts 20 years ago." Lin Feng understood Zhang Kuei's feelings and said, "Those martyrs can finally rest in peace." "That's right. They can finally rest in peace." Zhang Kuei sighed. Lin Feng's welcoming banquet was very lively. There were high-ranking officers of the Red Flame Army, representatives of Fallen Moon City's large families, students of the Azure Dragon Institute, and Fallen Moon City's upper echelons. Everyone wanted to see Lin Feng's glory. Lin Feng's gaze fell on a cultivator among the Fallen Moon City's upper echelons. His eyebrows raised slightly. That day, although the sky was dark, Lin Feng was hiding in the dark. In fact, he had clearly seen who was colluding with the Devil Dao expert. It was none other than the white-robed man among the Fallen Moon City's upper echelons. This person seemed to be called Wu Yangtian. "Linger, who's sitting next to your sister?" Lin Feng asked. Huang Linger said, "That's Vice City Lord Wu Yangtian. It really is him." A sharp light flashed in Lin Feng's eyes. Wu Yangtian seemed to have sensed something and looked at Lin Feng suspiciously. Lin Feng subtly smiled at Wu Yangtian and even raised his wine cup, draining it in one gulp. Wu Yangtian also smiled, but there was a trace of suspicion in his eyes when he looked at Lin Feng. Lin Feng's sudden arrival and the person who had eavesdropped on his conversation with Li Doxi had disappeared without a trace. Obviously, Wu Yangtian suspected Lin Feng. Chapter 226. After the banquet ended, everyone began to disperse. While Lin Feng was chatting with Huang Shilan, he smiled and said, "I have something that I need to discuss with City Lord Huang. Is there a quiet place for us to talk?" "What is it? Why do you need to talk alone?" Huang Linger frowned slightly. She didn't seem to like the idea of Lin Feng being alone with her sister. Huang Lei said, "Linger, the captain naturally has something important to say. Don't cause trouble." "Humph." Huang Linger glared at Huang Lei. Beside them, Wu Yangtian also looked at Lin Feng, his eyes flickering with coldness. He was becoming more and more suspicious of Lin Feng. "All right, come with me." Huang Shilan nodded and left with Lin Feng. Huang Shilan brought Lin Feng to a guest room and smiled. "Lin Gongzi, what important things do you have to say to me?" Lin Feng smiled and said, "I have a good relationship with Huang Lei and Linger. City Lord Huang, please don't call me Lin Gongzi. It sounds very awkward. Just call me Lin Feng." Huang Shilan smiled and said, "Then don't call me City Lord Huang. How about you call me Big Sis Shilan?" "How could I not obey?" Lin Feng smiled. Huang Shilan said, "Lin Feng, what you want to talk to me about in private should be very important, right?" Huang Shilan looked at Lin Feng with a burning gaze. Huang Shilan actually admired Lin Feng very much. Huang Shilan had shown excellent cultivation talent since she was young. At the age of 10, She had followed her father and grandfather to war all over the world. She had stayed in the army for 12 years, so she was someone who had experienced countless life and death situations. She worshipped heroes. Old Marshal Huang had always wanted to arrange a marriage for Huang Shilan, but she had always rejected him. That was because she didn't like those people. Until he heard about Lin Feng. Alone, he chased after hundreds of ferocious beasts and beastmen soldiers for hundreds of miles. He fought a bloody battle and killed the blood-robed beast tamer. Huang Shilan also wanted to know such a heroic figure. When Huang Shilan saw Lin Feng, she saw that he was so handsome, confident, and at ease. He was also a young hero. Huang Shilan's heart was pounding. However, after so many years, she had experienced a lot of things, so she would not easily express her feelings. What Lin Feng wanted to talk about was naturally the collusion between Wu Yangtian and a demonic cultivator. But Lin Feng had no evidence, and Wu Yangtian was the deputy city lord of Fallen Moon City. During the war 20 years ago, Wu Yangtian's father was the highest-ranking general of Jinwu country who had sacrificed himself. Back then, Wu Yangtian's father was the first general under the Northwest Marshal and was highly regarded. During the chaos of the battle, he had blocked an arrow for Old Marshal Huang and died during the breakout. Therefore, Old Marshal Huang had raised Wu Yangtian like his own grandson. With the deep relationship between the Huang family and the Wu family, Lin Feng had no evidence to prove that Wu Yangtian was colluding with a demonic cultivator. Even if he had evidence, he would have to be very careful. If he wasn't careful, he would invite trouble to himself. Lin Feng deliberated for a moment before saying, "When I came here, I saw a demonic cultivator in the mountains outside the city." A demonic cultivator? Huang Shilan was shocked. She then said angrily, "A demonic cultivator is actually so arrogant as to infiltrate Fallen Moon City?" This time, the Beastman Empire had unilaterally broken the ceasefire agreement with Jinwu country 20 years ago because of the demonic cultivator's interference. Huang Shilan naturally hated the demonic cultivator's actions. Lin Feng said, "A demonic cultivator naturally wouldn't take the risk to infiltrate Fallen Moon City for no reason. I saw someone in Fallen Moon City who was secretly in contact with a demonic cultivator." What? There's such a thing? Who dares to secretly collude with a demonic cultivator? Huang Shilan's eyes immediately revealed a cold killing intent. This woman was definitely the kind of person who would kill without hesitation. 12 years of military life had made her resolute and decisive, unlike ordinary women who were weak and delicate. Lin Feng thought, who else could it be? It's the Vice City Lord, Wu Yangtian. Of course, he wouldn't say this out loud. Lin Feng said, "The night was dark, so I didn't see clearly. However, I think it should be someone with some status. Otherwise, a demonic cultivator wouldn't risk coming to Fallen Moon City for a nobody." Huang Shilan nodded and said, "How hateful. Someone actually colluded with a demonic cultivator. These demonic cultivators secretly manipulated the Beastman Empire to attack Jinwu country. Colluding with a demonic cultivator is a crime of treason. No matter who it is, as long as I find out who it is, I will definitely put them to death," said Lin Feng. "You have to be extremely careful with some military secrets. You also have to be extremely careful when dealing with letters. Don't let the spy take advantage of any loopholes. I have the feeling that the spy will soon reveal himself. I will send people to keep an eye on him. If this spy makes any movements, we will definitely notice," Huang Shilan said. Lin Feng nodded. He had already done everything he could. Huang Shilan was able to become the city lord of Fallen Moon City at such a young age. Obviously, it wasn't just because of her ancestors. She was also very strong. Since Huang Shilan had already strengthened her vigilance, it wouldn't be easy to hide anything from Huang Shilan if Wu Yangtian really did make any movements. If Huang Shilan really had something on Wu Yangtian, with Huang Shilan's abhorrent personality, even if Wu Yangtian had a very deep relationship with the Huang family, Huang Shilan wouldn't be merciful. "Since I've already told you everything, I won't disturb you any longer. Lin Feng will take his leave." Lin Feng cupped his fists. Huang Shilan said, "I'll see you out." Suddenly, Huang Shilan's body slightly swayed, as if she was about to fall to the ground. Her face became extremely pale. Lin Feng hastily supported Huang Shilan. On that day, Huang Shilan wasn't wearing any armor. She was wearing a snow-white dress. She looked extremely beautiful. Lin Feng put his arm around Huang Shilan's waist and pressed his body against hers. He could smell the delicate fragrance of Huang Shilan's body. How cold. Why is your body so cold? Lin Feng wasn't distracted because he had discovered that Huang Shilan's body was extremely cold. She was as cold as ice. Quick, help me take out a pill. Huang Shilan's face was extremely pale. She weakly took out a porcelain bottle. There's a raging flame pill inside. It can help suppress the cold poison in my body, said Huang Shilan weakly. She leaned her head against Lin Feng's neck. Even though Lin Feng hadn't formally studied medicine with the fire Qilin, he had some understanding of some pills. The intense flame pill was a type of extremely hot yang pill. If a person took too many of those pills, their meridians would be severely damaged, and they could even become a cripple. Obviously, Huang Shilan had been using the intense flame pill to suppress the cold poison in her body. However, the intense flame pill wasn't able to remove the cold poison. On the contrary, it was damaging her meridians. Each time the intense flame pill broke through the suppression of the cold poison, it would erupt again, and it would be even more terrifying than before. Chapter 227. How long have you been consuming this raging flame pill? Lin Feng asked. 3 years. Huang Shilan replied weakly. It was no wonder why Huang Shilan was so weak. She had been consuming the raging flame pill for 3 years. It was obvious that the raging flame pill had damaged her body greatly. Lin Feng said, "Let me take a look at your injuries." Huang Shilan nodded weakly in Lin Feng's arms. Lin Feng's divine sense entered Huang Shilan's body and discovered that her body was filled with cold qi, especially in the depths of her dantian. There was a ball of cold qi entrenched there. It was the cold poison in her body. Because she had been consuming the raging flame pill for too long, her meridians had been damaged. Once her meridians ruptured, she would become a cripple. Does anyone else know about this? Lin Feng asked. Huang Shilan shook her head and murmured, 3 years ago, there was a supreme demon ice python wreaking havoc. I went with my father to exterminate it, but we suffered heavy losses in that battle. My father died tragically, and I was poisoned. My father's death was a huge blow to my grandfather, so I retired from the army. At first, the cold poison wasn't that serious, and I was able to suppress it, but later, it grew stronger and stronger until I couldn't suppress it anymore, so I had to consume the raging flame pill to suppress it. Why didn't you tell Marshal Huang about this? Lin Feng asked. Grandfather has been busy with the war in the northwest every day, and he's already exhausted. How can I make him worry? Huang Shilan shook her head. Lin Feng suddenly felt sorry for Huang Shilan. She looked valiant and had a strong personality. However, she was still a woman. She had witnessed her father's tragic death in front of her eyes, and it had been a huge blow to her. She had been poisoned by the cold poison, but she had chosen to bear it alone so that her grandfather wouldn't worry. A woman like her was truly heartbreaking. Huang Shilan trembled and said painfully, "Quick, give me the raging flame pill. I can't hold on any longer." Lin Feng asked, "Do you trust me?" Huang Shilan endured the pain and raised her head. She looked at the slightly immature but handsome face and the determined gaze in his eyes. Huang Shilan nodded. She didn't know why she chose to believe in this young man whom she had only met twice. However, deep in her heart, there was a voice telling her that she trusted him. "Don't take these intense flame pills. I'll help you expel the fire poison. We need to find a quiet place where we can't be disturbed," Lin Feng said. Expelling the cold poison? Huang Shilan looked at Lin Feng in disbelief. She was really shocked. Could this kind of terrifying cold poison really be removed? Huang Shilan knew that it was almost impossible, but deep in her heart, she believed in Lin Feng without a doubt. She blushed and said, "If you leave through the back door of the living room, you'll reach my courtyard." Lin Feng nodded and picked up the weak Huang Shilan. Huang Shilan's face was so red that it seemed as if blood would drip from it. She had never had such contact with a man before. She could even smell Lin Feng's manly scent, which made her feel as if her heart was about to jump out of her chest. Lin Feng carried Huang Shilan into her room. This made Huang Shilan even more embarrassed. Even her second brother, Huang Lei, had never entered her room before, but Lin Feng was the first man to enter. Lin Feng placed Huang Shilan on the bed and said, "Sorry for offending you later." Huang Shilan nodded and closed her eyes. She didn't dare to look at Lin Feng. Lin Feng took a deep breath and slowly adjusted his breathing. He planned to use the heavenly flame to expel the cold poison in Huang Shilan's body. Cold poison was extremely cold. As for the heavenly flame, it was extremely hot. The heavenly flame just happened to be able to restrain the cold poison. The heavenly flame was hidden in Lin Feng's palm. The temperature of Lin Feng's palm became extremely hot. His hand began to wander around Huang Shilan's body. This was also why Lin Feng said, "Sorry for offending you later," because the cold poison had already invaded Huang Shilan's limbs and bones. Therefore, Lin Feng wanted to expel the cold poison hidden in Huang Shilan's body one by one. Naturally, there would be physical contact. Huang Shilan bit her red lips and let Lin Feng's warm hand caress every part of her body. Lin Feng didn't have any evil thoughts. He just wanted to expel the cold poison in Huang Shilan's body. Wherever the giant hand passed, the cold poison would be dispelled. As the cold poison was gradually expelled, Huang Shilan's pale face also became rosy. However, when Lin Feng's hand touched some sensitive parts of her body, Huang Shilan's delicate body would slightly tremble. She was so shy that she wanted to find a hole to hide in. Even she was embarrassed to touch those places. Now, she was being touched by a man. For the Tianwu continent, where chastity was highly valued, this was an unimaginable thing. However, Huang Shilan didn't know why she didn't seem to dislike Lin Feng treating her like this and even touching her pure body. After spending more than 4 hours, the cold poison in Huang Shilan's body was gradually expelled by Lin Feng. However, the cold poison in the depths of her dantian was still stubborn. The cold poison in the depths of her dantian was the most terrifying. If it wasn't removed, the cold poison in Huang Shilan's body would continue to erupt. Lin Feng let Huang Shilan sit cross-legged, while he sat beside her. Lin Feng's right hand was placed on Huang Shilan's lower abdomen. He could even feel the soft jade-like skin through a thin layer of clothes. Lin Feng didn't have time to feel this. He took a deep breath, and under the control of Lin Feng, the heavenly flame entered Huang Shilan's dantian from her lower abdomen. The raging heavenly flame immediately enveloped the cold poison source. King of cold poison, King of cold poison. Suddenly, the cold poison source emitted a deep roar. The cold poison was fiercely resisting. The cold poison source wanted to turn into a ferocious beast and extinguish the heavenly flame. Lin Feng was astonished. No wonder the cold poison is so powerful. It's already formed a cold poison spirit. Luckily, I discovered it early. If I had delayed any longer, this beautiful woman would have died. After a short moment of astonishment, Lin Feng's face became ice-cold. The cold poison was indeed powerful, but it couldn't compare to the heavenly flame. Heavenly flame burns the heavens. Refine all things. The heavenly flame burned furiously. "No, don't." The Frost Poison King let out a cry of terror because it found that its origin power was being rapidly refined. But no matter how hard it tried, it couldn't resist the heavenly flame. "I can't accept this," roared the Cold Poison King in despair. But in the end, it was completely engulfed by the heavenly flame. After 8 hours, the cold poison in Huang Shilan's body was completely removed. Huang Shilan was soaked with sweat. Her body was weak, and she collapsed in Lin Feng's arms. Chapter 228. Looking at her beautiful face, Lin Feng suddenly felt a little restless. Only when he looked at Huang Shilan's face up close did he realize how perfect she was. Especially at that moment, because Huang Shilan's body was soaked in cold qi, her body was sticking to Lin Feng's flawless body. Lin Feng could see her exquisite body. It was so perfect that it could make his blood boil. However, Lin Feng understood that a gentleman would not take advantage of a person's difficulties. Naturally, he would not take advantage of Huang Shilan at this time, even if he had the chance. "Sister Shilan, How do you feel? Lin Feng asked softly. Huang Shilan slowly opened her eyes and sat up with difficulty. I feel much better. Lin Feng, thank you very much. At that moment, Huang Shilan suddenly realized that her body was soaked. Her perfect figure was exposed in front of Lin Feng's eyes, especially her huge breasts, which were almost sticking to her clothes. It was very tempting. Huang Shilan cried out in surprise and quickly covered her breasts with her hands. However, when she thought about how Lin Feng had touched her breasts before, her face turned so red that it could bleed. Sister Shilan, you should be fine after resting for a few days. It's getting late, so I'll go back first. Lin Feng said. Huang Shilan blushed and said, You should go back and rest too? Okay. Lin Feng nodded and walked out, then helped Huang Shilan close the door. After Lin Feng left, Huang Shilan lay on the bed and covered her face with the blanket. She felt that her face was burning hot, especially when she thought about how Lin Feng had touched her. Not only was she not angry, but she even seemed to be a little happy. At this moment, how was Huang Shilan still the dignified city lord of Fallen Moon City? She was completely acting like a little girl. The sound of the night watch came from outside. It sounded 4 times in a row, so it was obviously the 4th night watch. Lin Feng took a deep breath. It was already late at night, and there was no one around. Lin Feng walked towards his residence. When he passed by a tree-lined path, he suddenly felt a chill envelop him. Who is it? Come out. He looked coldly at a corner. Brother Lin's senses are really powerful. No wonder you were able to kill the blood-robed beast tamer. A voice was heard. Following that, a man walked out. It was none other than Wu Yangtian. Lin Feng did not expect Wu Yangtian to stop him in the middle of the night. What was he trying to do? Was this person suspecting him? You want to silence me? However, this was the city lord manner. As long as he shouted, he would be able to attract the attention of the guards. Most likely, Wu Yangtian wouldn't dare to act rashly. Thinking up to this point, Lin Feng's lips curled into a faint smile as he said, So it's Vice City Lord Wu. Instead of sleeping, you came here to enjoy the scenery? The corner of Wu Yangtian's mouth twitched violently when he heard Lin Feng's teasing words. His expression turned gloomy. As Lin Feng thought, Wu Yangtian suspected Lin Feng. However, Wu Yangtian didn't dare to openly make a move in the city lord manner. Of course, even though he suspected Lin Feng, Wu Yangtian couldn't be sure that the person who saw him talking to Li Doxi was Lin Feng. Thus, Wu Yangtian wanted to test Lin Feng. Of course, I'm not here to enjoy the scenery. I have a few words to say to Brother Lin. Wu Yangtian said. Oh, what is it? Lin Feng asked in astonishment. You better stay away from Shilan. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite, Wu Yangtian said coldly. He had been rather friendly just a moment ago, but now, he had an icy expression. His attitude changed faster than flipping a book. Why do you say that? Lin Feng narrowed his eyes and looked at Wu Yangtian. He naturally didn't believe that Wu Yangtian had come looking for him because of this. This guy was colluding with the demonic path and wanted to destroy the entire Zhenwu country. Why would he care about Jiang Shilan? How ridiculous. This guy was obviously using Jiang Shilan as an excuse to test him. Wu Yangtian said, The Wu family and the Huang family have been friends for generations. Shilan and I were childhood sweethearts and grew up together. Old Marshal Huang has the intention to betroth Shilan to me. Can you talk to Shilan for 4 to 5 hours? It's best if you don't come into contact with Shilan too often. If you anger me, you won't have a good ending. Lin Feng said indifferently, So that's what you're talking about. I find it quite funny. You don't seem to have anything to do with Sister Shilan, yet you're here to nag at me. Are you bored out of your mind? Can I take this as a provocation? Wu Yangtian looked coldly at Lin Feng. I'm just stating a fact. As for Sister Shilan, I'm sure she's not interested in you at all. You should give up on her. Lin Feng curled his lips. Brat, do you really think you're some big shot? How dare you speak to me in such a tone? If I don't teach you a lesson today, do you really think you can act so impudently in front of me? Wu Yangtian sneered and took a step forward, throwing a punch at Lin Feng. Boom. A terrifying aura erupted. Lin Feng was shocked. Wu Yangtian was very powerful. He was probably even stronger than the black-robed poison master. Wu Yangtian, what are you doing? At that moment, a cold shout was heard. Huang Shilan, who had just changed her clothes, heard the commotion outside and came out. She saw Wu Yangtian blocking Lin Feng's path and was about to attack Lin Feng. Her pretty face turned unsightly. Although the Wu clan and the Huang clan were old friends, Huang Shilan didn't have a good impression of Wu Yangtian. She always felt that Wu Yangtian was a very gloomy person. He would always hide his feelings in his heart. Shilan. Wu Yangtian frowned when he saw Huang Shilan and stopped his attack. What's going on? In the distance, a group of patrolling soldiers rushed over. They had obviously noticed the commotion. City Lord. The leader of the guards hastily saluted. It's nothing. You can leave now. Huang Shilan waved her hand. Yes. The leader of the guards left with his men. Shilan, don't be fooled by that brat's flowery words, said Wu Yangtian. Huang Shilan's face turned cold. Huang Shilan's pretty face turned cold as she said coldly, Vice City Lord Wu, aren't you overstepping your boundaries? It's already late at night. Why hasn't Vice City Lord Wu left yet? Humph, Wu Yangtian flicked his sleeves and left. Lin Feng didn't stay for long either. He chatted with Huang Shilan for a while before leaving. Damn it. I wanted to find out if that brat Lin Feng was the one who eavesdropped on my conversation with Li Doxi that day. Huang Shilan actually ruined it. Bitch, just you wait. When the city falls, I'll make you my slave. I'll F***ck you fiercely. Let's see if you can still act all high and mighty then. Wu Yangtian's eyes were filled with malice. In terms of character, I'm sure everyone knows Brother Lin's character. Who wouldn't admire him? Brother Wang is right. We are willing to serve Brother Lin as our leader, willing to pledge our lives to follow him. Following that, another senior student shouted in agreement. This person was called Zhang Leitang, ranked 35th on the Mountain River list. The rest of the people also chimed in. Lin Feng said, Everyone, I, Lin Feng, am deeply moved to be able to obtain everyone's trust. Today, I vow that I will not disappoint everyone's trust and will lead everyone to defeat the Beastmen Empire's army, protecting our country. Even if I die, I will have no regrets. Pledge our lives to follow. Everyone bowed to Lin Feng as a sign of respect. The war situation in the northwest became increasingly tense. In the following month, the Beastmen Empire's army and the Scarlet Flame army had engaged in more than a dozen battles. Both sides suffered heavy casualties. While Lin Feng led the Azure Dragon Institute's army to attack from time to time, ambushing the Beastmen Empire's army, killing more than 18,000 Beastmen Empire soldiers. At the peak of the war, the Beastmen Empire sent more than 1 million soldiers, and on the true martial countryside, 2 of the 5 legions, the Scarlet Dragon Legion and the Dragon Lion Legion, also came to reinforce. The entire Falling Moon Plains was littered with corpses, countless dead and injured. Falling Moon City. Wu Yangtian rushed to the Castellan Manor in a hurry. When he saw Huang Shilan, he cried out, Shilan, something big happened. Something big happened. Huang Shilan was startled, asking, what happened? The old marshal was ambushed by demonic path experts and Beastmen army at the Clear Wind Ridge, suffering heavy losses. Now that he's surrounded, a soldier managed to break out and delivered a letter in blood. Wu Yangtian took out a letter, written in blood, ordering Grand General Zhang Kuei to come to the Clear Wind Ridge as soon as possible. The letter was stamped with the Grand Marshal's seal. Huang Shilan felt as if she had been struck by lightning when she saw the letter. Their Huang family was full of loyalty. Her father's generation had 7 brothers who had died in battle, and now, only her grandfather was left. Huang Shilan couldn't imagine what it would mean for them if her grandfather had died in battle. Shilan, the Beastmen Empire's army has sealed off all the fortresses in the Falling Moon Plains. That soldier was heavily injured and couldn't deliver the letter, so he delivered it to Falling Moon City. Then, he died. We must go and rescue the old marshal. Wu Yangtian said in a sorrowful and anxious tone, Summon Vice City Lord Dong Sun to see me. He'll take care of Falling Moon City's affairs for now. You'll come with me and lead the garrison there to rescue the old marshal. Huang Shilan said. Yes, I'll go and find Dong Sun now, Wu Yangtian said as he quickly walked out of the room. After he left the room, the sorrowful expression on Wu Yangtian's face completely disappeared. It was replaced by a sinister smile that made people shudder. Chapter 230. There were 80,000 soldiers stationed in Fallen Moon City. They were the backbone of Fallen Moon City's defense. In order to rescue old Marshal Huang, Huang Shilan mobilized 30,000 elite soldiers and quickly headed towards Cool Breeze Ridge with Wu Yangtian. Of course, although kinship was one of the reasons for sending troops to rescue old Marshal Huang, even if old Marshal Huang was not Huang Shilan's grandfather, Huang Shilan would still go to rescue him after receiving the news. Old Marshal Huang was the commander of the Northwest Army. Nothing could happen to him. If old Marshal Huang died in battle, the Northwest Army would definitely be defeated. The road to Cool Breeze Ridge was rugged, and there was a section of the mountain path that was extremely difficult to traverse. It was located between two mountain ranges, and there was a deep canyon. If they wanted to pass through, they would have to pass through the canyon. After passing through the canyon, they would arrive at Cool Breeze Ridge in another day. The army didn't stop to rest along the way. When they arrived at the canyon, the majestic army quickly traversed through the canyon. There were huge mountain ranges on both sides of the canyon. When they looked up, the huge mountain peaks blocked the sunlight, causing the canyon to look gloomy. Pass down my order. Tell everyone to be careful. Looking at the terrain of the canyon, Huang Shilan couldn't help but frown slightly. She then passed down the order. She had been in the army for 12 years and had a good understanding of military affairs. A canyon like this was the most suitable place for an ambush. Yes. The messenger passed down Huang Shilan's order. Wu Yangtian, who was standing at the side, had a sinister smile on his face. The army continued to advance. Suddenly, a rumbling sound could be heard. What's that sound? Many people were puzzled. Look above. Someone pointed at the top of the canyon and shouted in fear. Huge rocks could be seen rolling down from the top of the canyon, smashing towards the densely packed soldiers below. There's an ambush. Hurry up and dodge. Huang Shilan's expression changed drastically as she shouted. Hurry up and dodge. Many soldiers shouted as they dodged the falling boulders. However, there were too many rocks. Many soldiers couldn't dodge in time and were sent flying by the rocks. Some were crushed by the rocks and died on the spot. Miserable cries could be heard as the rocks fell. The soldiers of Zhanwu country suffered heavy losses. Pass through the canyon quickly. Huang Shilan shouted loudly. Looking at those soldiers who had died tragically, her hand that was holding the sword was trembling violently. The army quickly rushed toward the exit. Rumble. Suddenly, the ground split open, and an incomparably huge claw emerged. That mountain-like claw smashed towards the soldiers. Bang, 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 bang. Hundreds of soldiers were sent flying and died on the spot. Then, a powerful earth demon crawled out of the crack in the ground. The Earth Fiend blocked the path. The Earth Fiend belonged to a branch of the Devil race. These Devil Dao powerhouses had always been in contact with the Devil race. It wasn't difficult to ask the Earth Fiend to take action. Roar, roar, roar. At the same time, the Orc Empire's soldiers rushed in and joined the battle. City Lord, we've been ambushed. We're trapped in the canyon. A general said with a pale face. Get out of here. Huang Shilan shouted loudly. The army retreated in a sorry state, but behind them, there were shouts and roars that shook the sky. The Earth Fiends were holding huge stone hammers and rushing in. Behind them were the Orc Empire soldiers. The 30,000 soldiers of Fallen Moon City were completely trapped in the canyon. Kill. Open a bloody path and break out. Huang Shilan waved her sword and ordered the army to attack from behind. She wanted to open a bloody path. A sinister laughter sounded. A sinister laughter suddenly resounded and 3 balls of demonic light flew in from the outside. Next, 3 black-robed cultivators walked out from the balls of demonic light. One of them was middle-aged, and the other 2 looked to be in their 30s. They were obviously Devil Dao experts. They were probably from the Soul Devourer Palace. Devil Dao cultivators. Huang Shilan's expression changed slightly. Haha, Wu Yangtian, you've done well. Not only have you lured Huang Shilan out, but you've also lured out the 30,000 soldiers guarding Fallen Moon City. Now, we'll destroy the 30,000 soldiers, capture Huang Shilan, and seize Fallen Moon City. Then, we'll use Huang Shilan to force Huang Tianfeng to submit, said the middle-aged man. The middle-aged cultivator said. This person was the Devil Dao expert Li Doxi. Wu Yangtian, it's you. Huang Shilan's expression changed drastically. She remembered the traitor Lin Feng had mentioned, but she hadn't thought that the traitor who had colluded with the Devil Dao would be Wu Yangtian. A wise man submits to circumstances, said Wu Yangtian indifferently. The Huang clan has treated you well. How dare you collude with the Devil Dao and the Orc Empire? You're a traitor? Huang Shilan's face turned ashen. Treated me well? Huang Shilan, you be *tch. My father died for that old bastard Huang Tianfeng. As for me, I'm still young and I've made outstanding military exploits. Why would that old bastard Huang Tianfeng rather let you be the city lord of Fallen Moon City instead of me? If he really treated me as one of his own, why wouldn't he give me the position of city lord? I hate all of you. I hate Shenwu country. If Shenwu country hadn't resisted the invasion of the Orc Empire, how could my father have died? I want to destroy Shenwu country and your Huang clan. I want to kill that old bastard Huang Tianfeng with my own hands. If it wasn't for him, how could my father have died? Wu Yangtian's face became distorted. Attack. Capture Huang Shilan. Li Doxi sneered and attacked Huang Shilan together with the other two Devil Dao experts. Protect the city lord. Many soldiers from Fallen Moon City attacked the three Devil Dao experts. At the same time, 15 kilometers away, Lin Feng led his troops back from the battlefield. After many days of fighting, the Orc Empire's army had been forced to retreat under Marshal Huang's lead. Lin Feng planned to lead his troops back to Fallen Moon City to recuperate. Captain, listen. There are sounds of fighting coming from that direction. Long Shiyu pointed to the southeast. Sure enough, even though they were very far away, the sounds of fighting could be heard. It was obvious that a large-scale battle had broken out. Lin Feng looked to the southeast and asked, What's that place? Captain, there's a huge canyon there called the Canyon of Death. It's extremely dangerous, and it's the best place to set up an ambush. Long Shiyu seemed to be very familiar with the terrain and said, Gather up, we're leaving. Lin Feng ordered. The 1,000-man team moved swiftly, quickly assembling. These people were all experts, the Azure Dragon Institute's elites. Most of them were at the Martial Master realm and above, and there were even a few Martial General realm experts. After going through a series of life and death battles, each and every one of them had an imposing aura akin to a mountain or a sea. As all of them gathered together, their powerful blood chi condensed, forming a giant blood pillar above the team. This blood pillar soared high into the clouds, forming a giant blood-red wolf. That blood-red wolf stood high in the clouds, howling at the sky. This was the essence energy smoke. It was rumored that when a group of powerful cultivators gathered together, their blood chi would fuse and form essence energy smoke. The essence energy smoke was like a pillar of smoke, shooting up to the 9 heavens. Let's go, Lin Feng ordered, and the team charged toward the Canyon of Death in an orderly manner. Chapter 231. Kill. Deafening battle cries could be heard coming from the Death Canyon. Lin Feng led the Azure Dragon Legion over. It's the Orc Empire's soldiers. Could it be that Jinwu country's army is trapped inside? Lin Feng frowned slightly. Wu Ming, go and see what's going on. Lin Feng ordered. Yes. Wu Ming immediately flew out. The reason why Wu Ming was sent to scout for information was because Wu Ming was very clever, and also because Wu Ming had the ancestral Earth escape technique. Even if he encountered danger, he could use the technique to escape. Not long after, Wu Ming ran back in a panic. Captain, it's bad. Something big has happened. Wu Ming was panting. What's going on? Lin Feng asked. It's City Lord Huang Shilan. She's leading an army, but she's surrounded by orc soldiers. I saw some demon cultivators attacking her crazily. There are also a dozen earth demons cooperating with the orc soldiers to attack our soldiers. Wu Ming's expression was unsightly. Huh, sister? Huang Ling cried out. Huang Lei also said doubtfully, Shouldn't Big Sister be overseeing Fallen Moon City now? Why would she lead an army without orders? Lin Feng's expression sank. It must be Wu Yangtia. He must have used some unknown method to deceive Huang Shilan. And now, on the battlefield, the Orc Empire was being obstructed and defeated by Jinwu country's army. If Huang Shilan was captured, the Orc Empire would use her life to threaten Marshal Huang. It would be very troublesome. Moreover, Lin Feng felt that if the Orc Empire captured Huang Shilan, they would use her to open Fallen Moon City. That would be even more troublesome. Once Fallen Moon City was breached, Jinwu country's northwestern frontier would be lost. At that time, the Orc army would be able to invade Jinwu country. What are you waiting for? Follow me and kill. Lin Feng shouted. Kill. The Azure Dragon Legion charged towards Death Canyon. Although there were only 1,000 of them, their aura was magnificent. It's the human reinforcements. Kill. Destroy these human reinforcements. When the Beastmen saw the Azure Dragon Legion charging over, they immediately roared and swarmed over. Chop. Over 1,000 experts of the Azure Dragon Legion attacked together, brandishing their weapons. Everyone's attacks converged and swept forward. Bang, bang, bang. The densely packed Orc soldiers exploded into a bloody mist, unable to stop the Azure Dragon Legion's charge. Devour. A black vortex appeared in Lin Feng's left palm. He was using his devouring martial soul to devour the blood chi of the orcs. Oh, the great sacrificial technique. I'm willing to use my blood as a sacrifice in exchange for the great technique. Lin Feng once again used the move, Sacred Armor Blessing. Blood sacrifice in exchange for the blessing of the divine armor. This kind of consumption was very serious. The average person would not be able to bear such a serious consumption, let alone supporting 1,000 people. But Lin Feng could do it. Because Lin Feng's devouring martial soul was really too terrifying. As long as there was enough blood for him to devour, he could use his own blood as a sacrifice and then devour other people's blood to recover his consumption. Now that a large number of Orc soldiers had been killed, they could be turned into Lin Feng's supplies. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Sacred armor blessings appeared on the bodies of the students. Everyone's expression was greatly shaken. Some of the students who had followed Lin Feng in the beginning knew that Lin Feng knew a sacred armor blessing technique, but Lin Feng had never used it before. This was the first time Lin Feng had used it. What a high-level spiritual array technique. I wonder what level spiritual array master the captain is. Many of the students were incomparably shocked. In terms of strength, Lin Feng was unparalleled. He could kill general realm experts. In terms of age, Lin Feng was the youngest of them all. What was even more shocking was that Lin Feng was actually an extremely powerful spiritual array master. It had to be known that it was extremely difficult to become a spiritual array master. Even if one was lucky enough to become a spiritual array master, could one become a powerful spiritual array master without decades of hard work? Obviously, it was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. However, Lin Feng was only 16 or 17 years old. In everyone's hearts, Lin Feng's image was like an immemorial divine mountain. Many people were filled with admiration and admiration. This was also one of the main reasons why Lin Feng had such a great appeal. With the blessing of the sacred armor, everyone's confidence greatly increased. Under the leadership of Lin Feng, the team directly charged towards the Death Canyon. Kill these humans. The Orc Empire's general roared. The densely packed Orc soldiers charged towards them. However, Lin Feng's team was really too powerful. Under the leadership of Lin Feng, everyone's essence, energy, and spirit fused together. Everyone's attack speed was almost the same. This was a kind of charm. When one was in the team, they would completely fuse with the team, as if they had become one person. A team of more than 1,000 people, and all of them were experts. There were also a few general realm experts, but all of their strength had fused together. It was almost as if one person was attacking. This was too terrifying. The attacks of 1,000 people condensed into a torrent of attacks that swept out. Pu. Tearing sounds were constantly heard. The Orc Empire's soldiers were directly beheaded. Each wave of attack could kill at least 300 to 400 Orc Empire soldiers. At most, it could even kill 1,000 Orc Empire soldiers. This kind of lethality was too terrifying. Essence chi smoke. It's actually essence chi smoke. Our army of 100,000 didn't condense essence chi smoke, but a team of 1,000 people actually condensed essence chi smoke. A Orc Empire's general looked at the essence chi smoke above the Azure Dragon army in disbelief. The Blood Wolf standing in the clouds occasionally let out deep roars. Arrows, release the arrows. The Orc Empire's general roared. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Numerous arrows were shot towards Lin Feng and the others. Kill. Lin Feng roared. Everyone attacked together, sweeping the sky and the earth. Bang, bang, bang. Countless arrows were swept away. Even if some arrows were shot, they were blocked by the sacred armor. They couldn't harm Lin Feng and the others at all. Amazing. Captain's divine battle armor is too overpowered. All the students were shocked and overjoyed. They could attack without any scruples, and they didn't have to worry about being shot by arrows. Kill. Lin Feng roared. He led the Azure Dragon army deep into the Orc Empire's army, carving out a bloody path. General, retreat. Hundreds of Orc Empire soldiers protected the Orc Empire's generals. Do you see? Those are the Orc Empire's generals. Kill them, and the Orc Empire's army will fall into chaos. Lin Feng pointed his black dragon sword at the Orc Empire's generals. Boom! The legion of 1,000 people attacked again, sweeping away everything in their way as they rushed towards the Orc Empire's generals. Protect the generals. Countless Orc Empire's soldiers rushed over. Whoosh whoosh. But under Lin Feng's command, they killed everything in their way. Countless Orc Empire soldiers were killed. Kill the Orc Empire's generals, shouted Lin Feng. The legion of 1,000 people attacked together, all of their attacks converging towards the Orc Empire's generals. No! The Orc Empire's generals screamed in terror. Whoosh! In the next moment, their bodies exploded, turning into a bloody mist. The Orc Empire's generals who had led the Orc Empire's army of 100,000 had all been killed by Lin Feng's legion of 1,000. Chapter 232. The Grand General is dead. Countless Orc soldiers roared wildly and charged at the 1,000-man legion. Obviously, Lin Feng had led a 1,000-man legion to kill a few generals of the Orc Empire. This had driven these Orc soldiers into a frenzy. Slash, slash, slash. Lin Feng roared and led the 1,000-man legion to fight the Orc army. The 1,000-man legion moved and attacked in unison. The lethality of their attacks was terrifying. On the other hand, although there were a lot of Beastman soldiers, they didn't have any organization to speak of. Even when the Beastman generals were still alive, they didn't understand human formations. All of the Beastmen just swarmed forward. This was a common tactic used by the Beastmen, but obviously, that kind of fighting wasn't very effective against Lin Feng and the others. Under Lin Feng's lead, the army of 1,000 people could easily crush the Beastmen. They were moving unhindered among the Beastmen army. After the initial frenzied charge, the Orc army realized that not only did they fail to kill Lin Feng and the others, but they also suffered heavy losses. In addition, a few generals were killed. Their morale was low, and they were no match for Lin Feng's 1,000-man legion. Lin Feng led the 1,000-man legion and tore a gap in the huge Orc army. Finally, they entered Death Canyon. Roar! The roar shook the sky, and an earth demon rushed toward Lin Feng and the others. The earth demon held a huge stone hammer in its hand. With every step it took, the ground trembled violently. Previously, when Lin Feng and the blood-robed beast tamer were fighting to the death, he had fought an earth demon. He knew how powerful this kind of earth demon was. The earth demon roared and raised its stone hammer, smashing it toward the 1,000-man legion. Its mountain-like body was a huge visual impact to the students. Many of them turned pale with fright. What are you afraid of? This earth demon is not unkillable. If we work together, we can definitely slay it. Lin Feng roared and raised the black dragon sword. Slash. Buzz. Lin Feng was the first to attack. A 10-meter-long sword aura was activated and blasted toward the earth demon. Slash. Everyone roared loudly. The 1,000-man legion attacked. Everyone's attacks converged and swept across the land, shattering mountains and rivers. The Earth Demon smashed with its stone hammer, and its attack collided with the 1,000-man legion's torrent of attacks. The stone hammer in the Earth Demon's hand was instantly shattered, and the Earth Demon was forced to retreat. Who knew how many orc soldiers it trampled to death? "Kill!" shouted Lin Feng furiously. It was the second time he attacked the demon with his sword. Everyone's morale was greatly boosted, and they attacked with all their might. The second attack was much more powerful than the first attack. Boom! The terrifying torrent of attacks converged and mercilessly slammed into the Earth Fiend, tearing it apart. Blood flowed. The Earth Fiend's massive body fell to the ground with a loud rumble, directly dying. This fall was like the collapse of a mountain. Who knew how many orc soldiers were crushed to death? In the central region of Death Valley, Li Doxi and the other 3 Devil Dao experts were madly attacking Huang Shilan. There were many generals around Huang Shilan who were risking their lives to resist. However, the 3 devils were too powerful. Li Doxi was a martial king expert. Although he suffered a backlash when his 12 external incarnations were swallowed by Lin Feng's mysterious demonic orb, his combat strength was still extremely terrifying. As for the other 2 demons, one was at the 7th heavenly layer while the other was at the 8th heavenly layer. They were all high-level martial generals. The 3 of them were invincible when they joined forces. The soldiers guarding Huang Lin were killed by the 3 of them. The ground was littered with the corpses of the soldiers. "City Lord, run!" a centurion shouted. A centurion shouted. Then, he turned around and led a group of soldiers to attack Li Doxi's group with a spear in hand. "Despicable things, die!" Li Lin Feng and the others said in a sinister voice. Boom! Boom! The tentacles of the 3 Devil Dao experts shot out clouds of devil fog, wrapping around the soldiers. These iron-blooded men of Fallen Moon City threw away their weapons and covered their faces. Their faces began to rot, and then their bodies began to rot as well. The demonic mist contained deadly poison. These people had all died tragically at the hands of the 3 great demonic pathmasters. Seeing this scene, Huang Shilan's face was filled with pain. However, she knew that she had to escape. If she really couldn't escape, she would rather commit suicide than fall into the hands of these people. The 3 experts were invincible. The soldiers of Fallen Moon City who were protecting Huang Shilan couldn't stop them at all. Many soldiers died tragically. The 3 experts had already caught up. "You can't escape," Li Doxi said gloomily. Whoosh! A cold light suddenly flew out. It was a flying sword that was as fast as lightning, slashing towards Li Doxi. It was Huang Shilan's flying sword. Buzz! Right at this moment, another flying sword flew over from a distance. With a clang, it hit Huang Shilan's flying sword and stopped her attack. "Huang Shilan, as long as I'm here, you won't be able to escape," Wu Yangtian said with a proud look on his face. "Wu Yangtian, you traitor." Huang Shilan's pretty face was incomparably ugly. Her eyes were filled with despair. If it was only the Beastmen army, they might be able to escape. But now, there were 3 great demonic pathmasters. It was simply impossible to fight against them. "Haha, thank you very much." Li Doxi laughed and slapped 3 times in a row. Bang, bang, bang. The soldiers of Fallen Moon City were sent flying one by one. Li Doxi was approaching Huang Shilan, and the other 2 demonic pathmasters were also quickly approaching. There were less than 50 soldiers around Huang Shilan. With the strength of the 3 great demonic pathmasters, they could quickly kill all the soldiers and capture Huang Shilan. Huang Shilan bit her pale lips, and a dagger appeared in her hand. Obviously, she was an unyielding person. She would rather commit suicide than fall into the hands of these bastards. Boom! But at this moment, blood chi soared into the sky. 1,000-strong army swept through the Beastmen army. They were simply invincible, sweeping away all the obstacles in their way. "Hurry up and stop them." Seeing the 1,000-strong army led by Lin Feng, Wu Yangtian's face changed and he shouted loudly. Roar, roar, roar. Countless beastmen rushed over, but they were doomed to die. Lin Feng led the 1,000-strong army and tore apart the beastmen army. Slash! Shouted Lin Feng. He and the 1,000-strong army attacked together. A 12-meter-long sword chi slashed towards Li Doxi, and the other two great demonic pathmasters. Damn it! The three Devil Dao experts felt the terrifying power of the Thousand-Man Legion's attack. Their complexions changed. Li Doxi was the first to dodge the attack. However, the other two Devil Dao experts weren't so lucky. The Thousand-Man Legion's attack bombarded them. They were instantly torn into pieces and died on the spot. Chapter 233. Among the three strong cultivators, Li Doxi was the strongest. He was a martial king, and the other two were high-level generals. However, even high-level generals couldn't resist the attack of 1,000 people. The combined power of this Thousand-Man Legion was too terrifying. Even a 10,000-meter-tall mountain could be shattered in an instant, let alone a human's body. "It's you." Li Doxi looked at Lin Feng gloomily. That day, when he had been talking to Wu Yangtian, someone had seen him. Even though he hadn't seen that person's face, Li Doxi remembered his appearance and chi very clearly. Therefore, when he saw Lin Feng, he immediately recognized Lin Feng. Li Doxi gnashed his teeth and looked at Lin Feng. His 12 clones had disappeared because he had been chasing Lin Feng. He had spent 60 years of his life to create them, and they had disappeared without a trace. Because of that, Li Doxi had suffered a backlash. Because of that, he only had 30% of his original strength. In addition to the injuries on his body, it would be considered good if he could display half of his strength. Li Doxi was furious. Even in his dreams, he wanted to kill the person who had destroyed his 12 clones. Now that he had finally seen Lin Feng, he was furious. Lin Feng ignored Li Doxi. He looked at Huang Shilan and asked, "Are you all right?" "I'm fine." Huang Shilan shook her head. "Little brat, you deserve to die," shouted Li Doxi furiously. He stomped his foot and rushed towards Lin Feng. He wanted to use his full strength to kill Lin Feng. "Li Doxi, you've suffered a backlash. You're not as strong as you used to be. Today, I'll kill you," shouted Lin Feng coldly. He waved his sword and slashed at Li Doxi. Behind him, the 1,000 people moved at the same time as Lin Feng. Everyone's essence, chi, and soul power fused together. With one slash, all the attacks converged together and turned into a long river that flooded the area in front of them. It was a flood of attacks. The combined attack of over 1,000 people was simply too powerful. Even though Li Doxi's cultivation was extremely high, he still felt the dangerous aura at this moment. After all, the current Li Doxi was not at his peak. His combat strength decreased sharply. As for Lin Feng, after fighting with the 1,000-man army, his essence, energy, and soul had been raised to the peak. Each of his attacks was extremely terrifying. Facing the torrent of attacks from Lin Feng and the 1,000-man army, Li Doxi's expression changed drastically. He quickly dodged, but he couldn't. Li Doxi held a blood-red saber in his hand. He shouted and slashed out, "Blood Devil King! Blood Devil King!" An endless amount of blood mist was emitted from the blood-colored saber. Amidst the blood mist, a blood-red figure condensed. The crimson figure let out a deep roar. "Spirit weapon!" Lin Feng was shocked. Blacksmiths were the third profession in addition to spirit array masters and alchemists. Some powerful blacksmiths could forge some very powerful weapons, such as the common flying swords. These weapons were different from ordinary weapons and could display all kinds of terrifying abilities. Such weapons were called magic weapons. Magic weapons were also divided into ranks. From low to high rank, they were magic weapon, spiritual weapon, precious weapon, and Taoist weapon. Magic weapons could already attack from a distance. However, magic weapons could not produce weapon spirits. Only at the level of a spirit weapon would an artifact spirit be formed. Why were they called spiritual weapons? It was because weapons had spirit. Spirit meant soul. That was why they were called spiritual weapons. The soul of a weapon was called weapon spirit. Once a magic weapon transformed into a spiritual weapon, its power would increase greatly. Lin Feng had seen many magic weapons before, but this was the first time he saw a spiritual weapon. The Blood Devil King was the weapon spirit of the blood-red saber in Li Doxi's hand. Li Doxi slashed with this powerful, spiritual weapon, level blood-red long saber. Endless blood-red light seemed to cover the sky and the sun. Bang! The attacks of the two sides fiercely collided. Lin Feng and the 1,000-man army's attack was broken by Li Doxi with a spiritual weapon. This had a lot to do with Li Doxi's strength. Of course, another very important reason was that the spiritual weapon in Li Doxi's hand was too powerful. Ha 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 ha. Watch how I cut off your head. Li Doxi laughed wildly after breaking the attack of Lin Feng and the 1,000-man army. He rushed toward Lin Feng with the blood-red saber in his hand. Oh no, Lin Feng is in danger. Huang Shilan's pretty face changed greatly. Behind Lin Feng, many students were also shocked. Their 1,000-man army was invincible, but now, they were blocked by Li Doxi. When a person's cultivation was heaven-defying enough, perhaps he could defeat thousands of soldiers. Li Doxi was obviously such a person. He was too powerful. Even though Li Daoxie's strength had decreased because of the backlash, compared to Lin Feng and the others, compared to the ordinary soldiers, he was still like a gigantic mountain. Everybody felt suffocated under the pressure. Little boy, die. Li Daoxie smiled ferociously. In his eyes, Lin Feng was already a dead man. He didn't believe that Lin Feng could compete with him. Even if he had an army of 1,000 people behind him, he couldn't compete with him. Die, die. This kid is finally going to die. Not far away, Wu Yangtian looked at Lin Feng with a sneer. It was because Lin Feng saw his meeting with Li Doxi that Wu Yangtian couldn't eat or sleep in peace. Wu Yangtian wanted to cut Lin Feng into pieces. Buzz. Li Doxi raised his blood-red saber and slashed toward Lin Feng. King of the Blood Devils, King of the Blood Devils. The blood-colored artifact spirit condensed from the blood-colored long saber let out a deep roar. Just as the attack was about to land, at this critical moment, something happened. At that moment, Lin Feng attacked. Lin Feng shook his right hand and a cyan light shot out. The cyan light and Li Doxi's blood-red saber collided. Clang! There was a loud sound. Everyone was shocked to see that Li Doxi's spiritual weapon, the blood-red saber, was broken. The cyan light quickly flew back to Lin Feng and was taken by Lin Feng. It was the bronze fragment, the legendary horn of a holy emperor weapon. It was much more powerful than a spiritual weapon. Ah, my treasure, my blood devil saber. Li Doxi shouted furiously. He felt like his heart was bleeding. He had paid a great price to get his blood devil saber, and now it was destroyed. Die, shouted Lin Feng. When they heard Lin Feng, the army came back to their senses and attacked Li Doxi together with Lin Feng. Li Doxi had lost his blood devil saber, so he couldn't fight back. He quickly retreated, but he couldn't dodge the attack. Slash, slash. Blood splashed as Li Doxi's left arm was cut off. Kill the evil Li Doxi, shouted Lin Feng. He continued attacking Li Doxi. The army behind him and the soldiers of Fallen Moon City all attacked Li Doxi. Li Doxi had killed so many soldiers of Fallen Moon City, so the soldiers of Fallen Moon City wanted to cut him into 1,000 pieces. Little boy, wait and see. I'll kill you. I'll cut you into 1,000 pieces. Li Doxi looked at Lin Feng with hatred. A moment later, with a loud bang, Li Doxi's body exploded and turned into a bloody mist. He soared into the sky and disappeared without a trace. This was an extremely powerful escaping technique called the Blood Evil Escaping Technique. Each time he used it, he would consume 300 years of his lifespan. The price was extremely heavy. However, in order to escape, Li Doxi had used the Blood Evil Escaping Technique to escape without a trace. Chapter 234. Phew. Lin Feng felt very tired because he had activated the bronze fragment. Every time he activated the bronze fragment, it was not an easy task. Fortunately, Lin Feng's cultivation level had increased, so he would not be as weak as before. Li Doxi escaped with a severed arm. Many people cheered. This was indeed something to cheer about. It was also something to be proud of. How powerful was a martial king? But now, under Lin Feng's leadership, they had been defeated by everybody. If they were not lucky, they would have died tragically. Of course, everyone was very excited. On the other hand, the Beastmen army was panicking. 2 of the 3 Demon Dao experts were dead, and 1 was injured. At this moment, the news that several generals of the Beastmen army had been killed spread. The entire Beastmen army was in chaos. Panic spread, and the beastmen army began to retreat in a panic. Kill these damned beastmen. The morale of the soldiers of Fallen Moon City was greatly boosted, and they began to fight back crazily. The beastmen army was chased by the soldiers of Fallen Moon City and suffered heavy casualties. Run, run, run. Wu Yangtian looked at all this with a pale face. He did not expect such a reversal. It was all because of that brat. If it was not for him, Huang Shilan would have been captured, and the soldiers of Fallen Moon City would have been defeated. But now, because of that brat's arrival, the situation was reversed. The 3 Demon Dao experts were either dead or injured. The Beastmen army, which had the absolute advantage, was defeated. Wu Yangtian's reputation as a traitor was exposed to the world. If Fallen Moon City had been defeated, he would have been the victor. But now, he was a stray dog. Wu Yangtian gritted his teeth in hatred. He wanted to cut Lin Feng into pieces, but he did not dare to stay. If he stayed, wouldn't he be courting death? Don't let Wu Yangtian escape, shouted Lin Feng furiously. He raised his sword and moved towards Wu Yangtian. The 1,000-man army and the soldiers of Fallen Moon City attacked Wu Yangtian. The soldiers of Fallen Moon City hated Wu Yangtian even more. If it weren't for this traitor, how could Fallen Moon City's army have suffered such heavy losses? That powerful torrent of attacks converged. Wu Yangtian's expression changed drastically. Even though he tried his best to dodge, he still couldn't completely dodge. He was struck by the torrent of attacks and was sent flying. However, he didn't die because Wu Yangtian was wearing a powerful magic robe. A thump was heard. Wu Yangtian fell to the ground. His face was extremely pale. The army had surrounded Wu Yangtian. He could not escape even if he had wings. Shilan, let me go. Since my father died for your grandfather back then, please let me go. Wu Yangtian looked at Huang Shilan with a pale face. Huang Shilan looked at Wu Yangtian with disgust and said coldly, My Huang family has treated you well. The Zhenwu country has treated your Wu family well. How could you collude with the Devil Dao and the Beastman Empire for your own selfish desires? You are a traitor. How many people have died because of your selfish desires? Even if I wanted to spare you, the heavens wouldn't. If you obediently surrender, you'll suffer less. If you resist, you'll suffer, said Lin Feng. Lin Feng said indifferently. Wu Yangtian's face twisted when he heard Lin Feng's voice. Everything was ruined by this person in front of him. He was the one who changed his fate. Wu Yangtian roared, Brat, I challenge you to a duel. I'll bet my life on it. If I defeat you, let me go. If I lose, you can do whatever you want with me. Wu Yangtian said righteously. He swore on his honor as a warrior and his family's honor that he would fight Lin Feng to the death. Lin Feng smiled mockingly. You're a traitor of Zhenwu, you're a prisoner, and you want to fight against me? Do you think you're qualified to fight against me? You coward! Wu Yangtian roared and charged at Lin Feng. Boom! The 1,000-man army, the densely packed soldiers of Fallen Moon City, attacked Wu Yangtian at the same time. The torrent of attacks gathered together and bombarded Wu Yangtian once again. Crack! 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 Even the robe protecting Wu Yangtian was destroyed. Wah! Wu Yangtian spat out a mouthful of blood and fell to the ground. His face was pale, and he couldn't move. That attack had not only destroyed Wu Yangtian's robe, but it had also destroyed his dantian. Wu Yangtian's eyes were blank. He couldn't believe that he had become a cripple. Capture him and bring him back. Lin Feng waved his hand. Yes. Someone immediately walked towards Wu Yangtian. Lin Feng walked towards Huang Shilan and asked, What's going on? Why did you lead so many people? Huang Shilan then told him about how she had obtained the blood letter and the Grand Marshal's seal on it. Lin Feng said, I just returned from the battlefield. How could Grand Marshal Huang appear in Cool Breeze Ridge when he's in charge of the 3 armies? However, there's a Grand Marshal's seal on the letter. It seems that there's a spy by the Grand Marshal's side, and it must be someone very close to the Grand Marshal. I'll send someone to report this. We must capture this spy. Huang Shilan said hatefully. Lin Feng said, Leave some people to clean up the battlefield. We need to return to Fallen Moon City. I'm worried that the Beastman army will attack Fallen Moon City. Huang Shilan's expression changed slightly, and she quickly issued orders. The army left about 1,000 people to clean up the battlefield, while the rest quickly returned to Fallen Moon City. Reporting to the city lord, our scouts have discovered a Beastman army about 200 kilometers away. They'll reach Fallen Moon City in about a day. As soon as they returned, someone came to report an important piece of news. You were right. Huang Shirlan looked at Lin Feng. If the Beastman army really came to capture Huang Shirlan, Fallen Moon City would be without a leader, and the people would be in chaos. At that time, it wouldn't be difficult for the Beastman army to attack Fallen Moon City. Fortunately, Lin Feng's timely appearance changed the situation. How many people are there? Lin Feng looked at the officer who came to report. The officer's face was pale as he said, about 300,000. Many people's expressions changed when they heard this. The 300,000 Beastmen army, in addition to the 100,000 Beastmen army they encountered in Death Canyon, totaled up to 400,000 Beastmen. However, Fallen Moon City only had 80,000 soldiers. The disparity between the two sides was too great. If the Beastman army attacked the city at all costs, Fallen Moon City wouldn't be able to hold on. Send someone to report this. I hope that we can resist the attack of the Beastman army before reinforcements arrive. Huang Shirlan's face was slightly pale. Lin Feng said, I might have a way to make the Beastman army come in vain and suffer heavy losses. Huh. Everyone looked at Lin Feng in shock. Chapter 235. Lin Feng's words made everyone feel incredulous. Not only did they make the orc army's trip in vain, but they also suffered heavy losses. Even on the battlefield, the 400,000 soldiers of the Zhenwu country couldn't gain any advantage against the 400,000 soldiers of the Orc Empire. Usually, they would need twice the number of soldiers to gain an advantage. But now, Fallen Moon City only had 80,000 soldiers. After deducting the 10,000 casualties from the Death Canyon, there were less than 70,000 soldiers who could fight. With a difference of 6 to 7 times, no matter how they fought, they couldn't possibly be a match for the Orc army, right? It would be good enough if they didn't suffer heavy losses. Lin Feng looked at Huang Shirlan and asked, Do you have any large defensive weapons? Huang Shirlan replied, There are giant crossbows, the kind that can only be pulled by 20 people. They can even kill some large beasts. There are a total of 20 of them, and they have great lethality. Good. Arrange them on the city wall. Also, let the archers be on standby on the city wall. Lin Feng said. Huang Shirlan had already witnessed Lin Feng create too many miracles, so she firmly believed in Lin Feng's words and hurriedly gave the order. Also, I need a large amount of materials. Search all the shops and clans in the city and prepare all of these materials. Lin Feng took out a pen and paper from his spiritual ring and wrote down hundreds of materials. These materials were all precious materials for arrays. Lin Feng planned to do something earth-shattering, something that ordinary people wouldn't dare to imagine. He wanted to arrange a huge array that would cover the entire Fallen Moon City. For an ordinary spiritual array master, this was simply impossible. This was because such a huge array had too high of a requirement for one's spiritual energy. Many people's souls had already collapsed before they could finish arranging the array. When the time came, they might suffer a backlash and die tragically. This kind of thing was not uncommon among spirit array masters. However, Lin Feng still decided to give it a try because Lin Feng's soul power had already reached the peak of the Martial King realm. Would this level of soul power be enough to support him in setting up the array? If he succeeded, the entire Fallen Moon City would be enveloped by the formation. When the 400,000 orc army arrived, he could activate the formation and trap the 400,000 orc army. At that time, the cultivators of Fallen Moon City would stand on the city walls and attack the orc army. One could imagine how much damage the orc army would suffer. This was why spiritual array masters were the most respected profession in the Tianwu continent's 3,000 prefectures. Alchemists, blacksmiths, and other professions could not be compared to this profession. Was it only because of the wonders of spirit array techniques? Of course not. The most powerful aspect of a spirit array master was still the Great Array. The formation could trap an army of thousands. The formation could kill thousands of soldiers and horses. This was the most terrifying aspect of a spirit array master. Lin Feng handed the paper with the required materials to Huang Shilon. Huang Shilon hurriedly ordered people to search for him. In the entire Fallen Moon City, all the shops, clans, and forces that had spirit array materials had all offered up their contributions. This was because everyone knew that it was now a moment of life and death. If they could not resist the Orc army, once the city was breached, the Orc Empire would definitely slaughter everyone in the city. At that time, millions of people in Fallen Moon City would die tragically under the butcher's knife of the Orc Empire. After collecting the required spirit array materials, Lin Feng began to get busy. Time was very tight. There was only one day left, so Lin Feng could not delay for a moment. In this city, are there any spirit array masters? Let them help me, Lin Feng said. It was too difficult for Lin Feng to complete such a huge project that covered the entire Fallen Moon City by himself. He needed help. There are 3 spirit array masters. I will go find them personally, Huang Shilon said. The 3 spirit array masters were an old man and 2 middle-aged men. The old man was a beginner advanced spirit array master, while the 2 middle-aged men were beginner intermediate spirit array masters. When they saw Lin Feng, they did not think much of him. He was just a 16 or 17-year-old boy. Was he an apprentice spirit array master? However, when they heard what Lin Feng was going to do, they were all stunned. Setting up a large array to cover the entire Fallen Moon City? This sounded like a fantasy story. It would require at least the soul power of a profound spirit array master to do it. Boy, are you daydreaming? The old spirit array master said. At this moment of life and death, there is no time to talk so much. Just follow me, Lin Feng said, then turned and walked out of the city. Please, the 3 of you. Huang Shilon bowed. The 3 of them did not want to agree because the Orc Empire's army was coming. They wanted to leave Fallen Moon City as soon as possible. However, they owed Marshal Huang a favor. Now that Huang Shilon had personally invited them, they could not refuse. In the end, the 3 of them nodded. They naturally did not think that Lin Feng could do such a thing because it was too unbelievable. However, the 3 of them were soon shocked. That was because Lin Feng's abilities had far surpassed theirs. From the way he had arranged the entire structure of the Great Deployment Spell, to the way he had drawn spiritual marks to connect the various deployment spell cores and so on. Even old spiritual deployment spell masters couldn't do that. The 3 spiritual deployment spell masters were stupefied. The old spirit array master said, at the age of 16 or 17, he is already a beginner advanced spirit array master? The old spirit array master smiled bitterly. It took him 40 years to go from an apprentice spirit array master to a beginner advanced spirit array master. He had been stuck at the beginner advanced spirit array master for 20 years and could not break through. However, a 16 or 17-year-old youth in front of them was actually a beginner advanced spirit array master. How could they not be shocked? Lin Feng said, I'll have to trouble the 3 seniors to put these spirit array materials into the array eyes where the spirit inscriptions intersect. Also, I'll have to trouble the 3 of you to use an illusion to hide these array eyes. Our time is limited, so we must complete this before the Orc Empire's army arrives. Spirit array masters were a very special existence. Generally, the higher the rank of the spirit array master, the higher the status. It had nothing to do with age. Among the 4 of them, Lin Feng's rank was the highest, so his status was naturally the highest. When the other 3 saw that Lin Feng was already a peak spirit array master at such a young age, he did not show any arrogance. Instead, he was very respectful towards them. The 3 of them felt a surge of emotion. If they could really complete this task and resist the attack of the Orc Empire's army, how many lives would they save? This was definitely something that would benefit the common people. The 3 spirit array masters looked at Lin Feng and nodded solemnly. They felt that the hot blood in their bodies seemed to have been ignited by the enthusiasm, bravery, and chivalry of the youth in front of them. They took the spirit array materials and started to set up the vast array with Lin Feng. Even with his peak Martial King level soul power, he was almost unable to bear it. Persevere. I must persevere. Lin Feng took a deep breath. He didn't dare to stop, because once he stopped, fatigue would engulf his entire body. It would be too difficult for him to raise his condition to draw the spiritual array below. This was like a marathon runner who had run tens of thousands of meters and was already extremely tired. If he continued running, it would be completely out of inertia. If you asked him to stop and rest for a while before continuing, he would definitely not have the strength to continue running. Lin Feng was in such a state. When he had completed 60%, Lin Feng's face was as pale as a sheet of paper. He felt as if his head was about to split open. When Lin Feng had completed 80%, his body was trembling. Cold sweat kept pouring out, and his eyes were lifeless. Seeing this scene, the other three spirit array masters' expressions changed. No, he can't persevere any longer. If he perseveres, his soul will suffer a backlash. He might even die a miserable death from the backlash. The old spirit array master was very experienced. When he saw Lin Feng's current state, his expression changed again and again. A middle-aged spirit array master said, "Then what should we do now? We need to stop him quickly." The old spirit array master said, "But if we stop him, the formation will fail." Another middle-aged spirit array master said, "If we don't stop him, the formation won't succeed. Moreover, he will die without a doubt." The old spirit array master said. The two middle-aged spirit array masters nodded. The three of them looked at Lin Feng. The old spirit array master said, "Young hero Lin, quickly stop. Your soul has already reached its limit. If you persevere any longer, you won't be able to withstand it and will collapse." At this moment, Lin Feng came back to his senses and looked at the three people in front of him. He shook his head and said, "I've already completed 80% of the formation. There's only 20% left. I won't stop. Continue with your work. Don't worry about me." Seeing Lin Feng's persistence, the old spirit array master and the other two were very moved. They no longer tried to persuade him. They only hoped that Lin Feng could persevere and that a miracle would happen. Lin Feng had indeed reached his limit. When he continued to work hard, crack, crack, Lin Feng felt that his soul was beginning to crack. This was an extremely terrifying situation. His soul was collapsing. Once his soul really collapsed, Lin Feng would die. His soul would vanish into thin air. "I believe that I will succeed. I will definitely succeed." Lin Feng let out a low roar. He gritted his teeth and persevered. Even though his face was extremely pale, he still persevered. Even though his soul was beginning to collapse, he still desperately persevered and never gave up. Lin Feng was using his life to set up the formation. Lin Feng knew that he had to succeed. If he failed, not only would the millions of people in Fallen Moon City be massacred, when the Orc Empire's army marched in, who knew how many people would die in the Jinwu country? Ancient dragonesque elephant art. As his soul continued to crack, Lin Feng crazily circulated the ancient dragonesque elephant art. The powerful ancient dragonesque elephant's power surged into Lin Feng's soul. A strange thing happened. When his soul cracked, the ancient dragonesque elephant's power began to repair the cracked soul. Lin Feng was shocked. He didn't expect the ancient dragonesque elephant's power to have such a magical effect. It could even repair the cracked soul? Lin Feng's soul was repaired again and again. Every time it was repaired, it would become even more powerful. Boom! After 99 cracks and 99 cracks, Lin Feng's soul had undergone an astonishing transformation. The terrifying soul power exploded in an instant. Lin Feng's soul power increased by a full 10 times. At this moment, many of the originally cryptic and difficult to understand knowledge of spiritual arrays were as if the clouds had been lifted and the sun had been revealed. This made Lin Feng very shocked. After a short period of shock, he was ecstatic. His spiritual array master realm had once again broken through. He had broken through from the yellow rank, initial rank, and peak rank to the yellow rank, intermediate rank, and initial rank. Chapter 237. Lin Feng's soul power and understanding of arrays had reached a whole new level. He had completed the most important transformation in this extreme destruction and rebirth. This transformation not only allowed Lin Feng's spirit array master level to undergo a qualitative and quantitative transformation, but more importantly, Lin Feng was able to complete the entire array. This array was related to the fate of the entire Zhenwu country. 2 hours later, when the last spirit pattern was intertwined, the entire combination array was successfully arranged by Lin Feng. The surroundings were emitting astonishing energy fluctuations that swept through the heavens and the earth. The power of the array was quite astonishing, shocking, and moving people. The old spirit array master and the other two were dumbfounded as they watched all of this. He had really succeeded. The array that enveloped the entire fallen moon city was a huge array, yet it had been completed by a 16 or 17-year-old boy. This could only be described as a miracle. Rumble. The earth was trembling. Everyone's expression changed slightly. Lin Feng said, "The Beastman army has arrived. Let's go back to the city." Then, the four of them entered Fallen Moon City. How was it? Huang Shirlan looked nervously at Lin Feng because the array was too important to Fallen Moon City. Now that the Beastman Empire's army of more than 400,000 had arrived, Fallen Moon City was filled with despair. No problem, just wait for the show. Lin Feng's mouth curved into a sneer. Great. Huang Shirlan's beautiful face revealed a breathtakingly beautiful smile. Rumble. Rumble. The earth was trembling. They're here. The Beastman Empire's army is here. Many of the soldiers standing on the city walls looked at the densely packed Beastman army in horror. The orc army surrounded the entire Fallen Moon City so tightly that not even a drop of water could trickle through. The four gates of the city were surrounded by soldiers, making Fallen Moon City an isolated city. They couldn't escape even if they wanted to. Hey! Hey! Moreover, Earth Fiends were pushing huge siege weapons and walking at the front. The terrifying aura of death emitted by the Earth Fiends made everyone feel a heavy pressure. The huge army of the Orc Empire stopped 3 miles away from Fallen Moon City. The commander of the Beastman Empire's army was a young man. This person was wearing a golden battle robe. Like the other Beastmen, he was very muscular. This was the Beastman Empire's His Highness, Celt. He was the favorite son of the Beastman Empire's Beast Emperor. Not only was he talented, but he was also brave in battle. He had a very high reputation in the army. However, at this moment, Celt's expression was very ugly. Although the Orc Empire had the help of the Demon Dao experts, it didn't go smoothly. Kill him. Everyone roared with hatred when they heard how despicable Wu Yangtian was. Wu Yangtian stared at the faces in horror. No, don't kill me. I want to see the marshal. He definitely won't kill me. Shirlan, help me. Don't let him kill me. Wu Yangtian looked at Huang Shirlan in horror. Have you ever thought about the thousands of brothers who died tragically? Are their lives not worth anything? Huang Shirlan said coldly. She then turned around and stopped looking at Wu Yangtian. This man betrayed his country for glory and killed his brothers. He should be executed, shouted Lin Feng furiously. He grabbed his sword with both hands and slashed down. Pooh! Wu Yangtian's head was sent flying and blood spurted into the sky. Good kill. Countless people shouted at the top of their lungs. The soldiers who had experienced the Battle of Death Valley were moved to tears. Lin Feng grabbed Wu Yangtian's head and walked towards the tower. He stood on top of the tower, holding Wu Yangtian's head in his hand. He looked at Celt and the others coldly and shouted, Wu Yangtian's head is here. I swear to live and die with Fallen Moon City. Your Highness, that's the guy who killed the blood-red Beastmaster and ruined our plan to capture Huang Shirlan in Death Valley, said Li Doxi. Said the one-armed Li Daoxia. He looked at Lin Feng with hatred. That's him. Celt's face was filled with murder. How despicable. He ruined the Orc Empire's plan. Since these people don't know what's good for them, let's attack the city. When we break through the city, I'll skin you alive. Very quickly, the order to attack the city was given. Woo woo woo, the low sound of a horn sounded. Kill them. The Orc Empire's army was moving towards Fallen Moon City. The several hundred-meter-tall Earth Fiends were also pushing huge siege weapons towards Fallen Moon City. The siege weapons were too heavy, as if they were pushing a mountain, causing the earth to shake violently. At this moment, the rain of arrows had already arrived. Sounds of bodies being pierced could be heard. God knows how many soldiers of the Orc Empire were killed by the dense rain of arrows. Screams rang out one after another. Damn it! It's a great formation. Fallen Moon City has a spirit formation master who set up such a powerful formation. It's incredible. Even a profound level spirit formation master would find it difficult to do this. Could it be that Fallen Moon City has a profound level spirit formation master? Lidoxi's face became extremely ugly. A spirit formation master? Kelt's face changed greatly. He knew how terrifying a human spirit formation master was. They controlled great formations and could control unknown power. Elderly, please ask the spirit formation master of the Soul Devourer Temple to come out and help. Kelt looked at Lidoxi and said, "It's too late to send a message now. Now that the army is trapped in the formation, it's troublesome. I think the reinforcements from Fallen Moon City will come soon." Lidoxi said gloomily. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The dense rain of arrows shot into the fog and killed countless Beastman soldiers. Some Beastmen generals shouted, "Shields hide!" The Beastmen soldiers who were holding huge shields quickly rushed to the front and blocked the arrows while the rest of the Beastmen soldiers hid behind them. The arrows were blocked by the shields, and the Beastmen soldiers continued to move forward. Rumble, rumble. At the same time, the Earth Demons were pushing huge siege weapons towards Fallen Moon City. The huge siege weapons destroyed the great formation that Lin Feng had set up. The power of the great formation was weakening. "Damn it, quick! Release the crossbows and kill those Earth Demons," Lin Feng said in a deep voice. There were a total of 20 giant crossbows, which required at least 20 soldiers to open. Their power was extremely shocking. However, it wasn't easy to kill the Earth Demons because of the white fog. The Earth Demons couldn't be seen. They could only hear the Earth Demons, but couldn't see them clearly. Therefore, it was very difficult for the soldiers to operate the crossbows. Fortunately, the soldiers of Fallen Moon City were well trained. Thick arrows were shot out one after another. The power was terrifying. Ripping sounds were heard as the huge arrows pierced through the bodies of the Earth Demons. Then, Lin Feng activated the great formation of Celestial Spirits and Earth Demons. Celestial Spirits were like sharp swords as they attacked the Beastmen soldiers. The Earth Demons chi poured into the Beastmen soldiers' bodies and directly froze them. It was an extremely tragic battle. Lin Feng's great formation trapped the Beastmen army for a day and a night. Under the joint efforts of the three great formations and the soldiers guarding the city, 100,000 Beastmen were killed and countless Beastmen were injured. However, in the end, the great formation was broken by the Beastmen soldiers. "Break through the city. I want to slaughter everyone in the city. I want to kill everyone." Kelt roared angrily, his face contorted in anger. The Beastmen soldiers had suffered disastrous losses in this battle. The Beastmen army started to attack the city, and an even more tragic battle broke out. Fallen Moon City's casualties became more and more serious. After bitterly holding on for 3 days, they almost couldn't defend Fallen Moon City anymore. Fallen Moon City was filled with panic, but at that moment, the reinforcements from Fallen Moon City arrived. Great General Zhang Kuei personally led 200,000 Red Flame soldiers. "The reinforcements are here." Countless people in Fallen Moon City were excited. Kill all these Beastmen." Great General Zhang Kuei held his azure dragon saber and rode on his red flame horse. The Beastmen army was attacked from both sides and suffered disastrous losses. "Your Highness, quickly break out of the encirclement," said the Silver Fox Beastman anxiously. "How could this be? Damn it, how could this be? It was a flawless plan, but it was Lin Feng. It was all his fault. This prince will definitely kill him." Kelt roared in anger. Under the protection of the Beastmen soldiers, Kelt led some people to break out of the encirclement, but most of the Beastmen were annihilated. In this battle, the Beastmen Empire's army of 470,000 had been killed and 170,000 had been captured. The rest had fled under Kelt's command. Chapter 239. The Battle of Fallen Moon City was a huge blow to the Orc Empire. They lost hundreds of thousands of soldiers. Not only did they lose their military strength, but their morale was also affected. When the news of the Battle of Fallen Moon City spread to the Orc Empire. The Orc Empire panicked. The Orc Empire's main army was blocked by the 3 legions of the Jinwu country, so the Orc Empire's higher-ups hoped to seize Fallen Moon City and open a path to the Jinwu country. However, the result was so tragic. The Jinwu country's morale was greatly boosted, and they pursued the Orc Empire's army. The Orc Empire's army, which had completely lost their confidence, was utterly defeated. The Orc Empire lost more than 200,000 soldiers on the main battlefield. The Orc Empire's million-strong army invaded the Jinwu country and lost more than 600,000 soldiers in the end. At the same time, the Sun Moon City's experts appeared and entered the Orc Empire. They fought with the Soul Devourer Palace's experts who were hiding in the Orc Empire. One of the Soul Devourer Palace's 3 Inyang Realm experts was killed, and the other 2 escaped. Without the support of the Soul Devourer Palace, the Orc Empire had no power to resist. The 3 legions of the Jinwu country directly attacked the Orc Empire's imperial city. This was the greatest victory that the Jinwu country had achieved in the hundreds of years of war with the Orc Empire. This matter also shocked the East County and the Divine Continent. No one had expected the Orc Empire to lose so tragically. The Orc Empire was forced to sign a city treaty with the Jinwu country. The treaty mainly included the Orc Empire giving 10 cities to the Jinwu country as compensation, and the Orc Empire had to pay tribute to the Jinwu country every year. When the news of the signing of the city treaty reached the Jinwu country, the whole country rejoiced. Fallen Moon City's City Lord's mansion was very lively, and the celebration banquet was held there. Lin Feng, my young friend, on behalf of the 3 legions and the countless citizens of the Jinwu country, I propose a toast to you. If it wasn't for you setting up a formation to block the Orc Empire's army, Fallen Moon City would have fallen. The consequences would be unimaginable. Old Marshal Huang raised his wine cup. Facing this old marshal who had contributed his entire life to the country, how could Lin Feng dare to be careless? He quickly raised his wine cup and said, "For the sake of the country's survival, how can I avoid it for the sake of fortune and disaster? When the country is in danger, as a disciple of the Jinwu country, I naturally have to fight on the battlefield for the sake of the country and its people. Even if I die, I have no regrets. Everything I do is what I should do. Old Marshal, please don't praise me." Good, good, good. What a good saying. How can we avoid it for the sake of our country's survival? I can see the hope of our country's future in you. Let's toast to the fallen soldiers. The old marshal raised his glass and finished it in one gulp. Everyone in the hall raised their wine glasses and drained them in one gulp. The banquet was very lively. This great victory was to everyone's satisfaction. Lin Feng was the focus of everyone's attention. Everyone knew that if it weren't for Lin Feng, the outcome of the Orc Empire's invasion would have been hard to predict. First, he chased after the blood-robed beast tamer alone, and in the end, he fought a bloody battle and killed the blood-robed beast tamer. In the Death Canyon, he led a 1,000-man army without fear of death, heavily injuring the Martial King Realm Demonic Path expertly Doxy, destroying the Demonic Path and the Orc Empire's plan to kidnap Huang Shilan. Outside Falling Moon City, he laid out a grand formation without fear of death, blocking the Orc Empire's army of over 400,000 for a day and a night, buying precious time for the reinforcements to arrive. This battle, if it weren't for Lin Feng, would the city be destroyed by now? On the other hand, the Azure Dragon Institute students were brimming with excitement. In this battle, they had followed Lin Feng and achieved great merits. In the future, when the Azure Dragon Institute recommended people to join the ancient forces, they would be the first to be recommended. Even if they couldn't join the ancient forces, they could still rely on their military merits to win a good future. Halfway through the banquet, Lin Feng and Huang Shilan walked toward the back garden. "Now that the war is over, you should go back," Huang Shilan said reluctantly. Lin Feng grabbed Huang Shilan's slender hand, saying, "Even if I go back, I will miss Sister Shilan. Don't be like this. It won't be good if people see us like this." Huang Shilan struggled lightly, but Lin Feng's grip tightened. Huang Shilan usually wore armor, but today, she wore a low-cut evening gown, which fully accentuated her tall figure and full breasts. Coupled with her delicate and beautiful face, she was simply a stunner in the world. "What are you afraid of? Unmarried man, unmarried woman. Not only did Lin Feng not let go, he even pulled Huang Shilan into his embrace. Huang Shilan's face was pink, struggling lightly, but she soon discovered that she had no strength left in her body. She leaned weakly into Lin Feng's embrace. Huang Shilan didn't know when it started, but she had been fantasizing about such a scene. She didn't know when this man who was several years younger than her had completely occupied her heart. Under the moonlight, Huang Shilan's delicate and pink face was so beautiful and charming. Lin Feng couldn't help but kiss Huang Shilan's pink lips. Woo-woo. Huang Shilan's eyes were wide open. She hadn't thought that Lin Feng would be so daring. There were still people passing by. Huang Shilan wanted to push Lin Feng away. However, she discovered that she had no strength left in her body. Thinking that Lin Feng was about to leave, she closed her eyes and let Lin Feng taste her. Lin Feng held Huang Shilan's waist and carried her towards the rockery not far away. Ah, what are you doing? When Huang Shilan saw that Lin Feng was carrying her to the fake mountain, her face immediately turned red. Lin Feng had dared to do such a thing to her on the small road outside. Now that they were in the fake mountain, there was no one else around. She didn't know what he would do to her. You'll find out later. Lin Feng had an evil smile on his face. Don't. Soon, Huang Shilan's shy voice came from behind the rockery. After an unknown amount of time, Huang Linger's voice came from outside. Big sister, are you here? Lin Feng and Huang Shilan quickly cleaned up the mess. Lin Feng left from the other side of the rockery, while Huang Shilan tidied up her clothes and hurried out. Huang Linger saw Huang Shilan come out from behind the rockery and saw a familiar figure disappearing into the night. She immediately revealed a suspicious look. She looked at Huang Shilan with an unfriendly expression. What are you doing behind the rockery? Nothing. I was just passing by, Huang Shilan said in a panic. However, her pretty face still had a blush that hadn't faded from her pleasure. Huang Linger wasn't so easily fooled. She sniffed and asked, What's that smell? It's so pungent. Is it? Why can't I smell it? Huang Shilan said with a red face. What's that milky white thing on your mouth? Huang Linger asked suspiciously. Huang Shilan turned pale with fright. She quickly licked it clean with her tongue and said, The cheese I ate just now accidentally stuck to my lips. Humph. Huang Linger snorted coldly and turned to leave. Huang Shilan wanted to stop Huang Linger, but she didn't have the courage to do so. She knew that Huang Linger must have seen something. She also knew that Huang Linger was interested in Lin Feng. She was Huang Linger's older sister, yet she was also attracted to Lin Feng like a moth to a flame. Moreover, she had been so crazy behind the rockery. If Huang Linger hadn't come, Huang Shilan would have thought that Lin Feng would have taken her first time there. Huang Shilan's feelings were very complicated. She didn't know how to face Huang Linger.